acquisition at goodkarmabrands.com. That's talent acquisition at goodkarmabrands.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
There aren't any Jasons 12 and under. That's a dead name.
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
How many kids do you hear, hey, Marky? It might be almost to the point of Ruth.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios in downtown Milwaukee at the 3rd Street Market Hall.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
This is Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch.
It's Wilde and Touch, isn't it?
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It is the Friday edition. The Mel Kiper scheduled to appear edition. A 2-goal lead is the worst lead in hockey unless you only allow 1 goal and hold on for a 2-1 victory to advance to the national championship edition. And are we a dating service now? Because I got a couple of messages after the show that I need to discuss with Old T edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course everything you need on the magnificent, stupendous, fantabulous, incredible ESPN Wisconsin app, which you can find both in the Apple and Android app stores, and you can customize to put Wilde and Tausch right in that first spot so you have easy access to our free podcasts. I'm Jace Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. And from his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. If Wisconsin pulls this off, and you guys were texting and I saw it pop up. I did tape the game. I have not watched it yet. I don't think I will. I saw that we won. I saw that we scored 2 goals in 27
seconds. Yeah. First period.
We didn't spoil it, right? Jesse and I were very cautious with our texting.
I wanted to text you, and I held off because I thought you were going to pull off the tape delay.
I could kind of sense what was going on, though, when I saw your text. Oh
boy.
Obviously.
That's all I sent.
So it was, I'm just trying to think. I mean, this has been an awesome run. What is the equivalent of where we're at? I mean, I know when Dexy joined us last week, I kind of looked at it and thought there's a lot of similarities, obviously injuries and everything else. There's a lot of similarities to where we were at in Green Bay, but then I thought, no, there's really not. There's not, though, because
why? We
went in guns blazing, red hot. Nobody wanted to face us. There wasn't anybody that thought that about this team. Well, I mean, maybe he'll get in, but nobody was thinking Michigan State was better. Oh, this little ragtag group just got smoked on a Wednesday morning at the Kohl Center and wasn't even sure they're going to get in the playoffs. So I don't know. Somebody help me with the equivalency here, because listen, man, we love hanging banners. Women have been hanging banners left and right over there at the Laban. Throw one up at the Kohl Center, and we're in position now, especially with a double overtime game, to hang another banner, and that's what what we want. This is what we want, and this is what we're always looking for as championships. It's not necessarily a perfect journey or This will be a great resiliency story if we pull this off, and Hastings deserves a ton of credit, and our captain deserves a lot of credit. But what is the closest thing we've seen in the last, you can say 30 years of this? Because this doesn't happen. It doesn't happen where you limp in and you're struggling and nobody has any whatever. Now, hockey's a different bird and a different game. But when have we ever seen this?
Yeah, I think you're overthinking this, and I think you're trying to avoid the obvious comp in Wisconsin sports because you were right the first time. No. Let's go back to 2010.
No, okay. I don't think I'm right. I am interested to hear why you think so, but I'm pretty steadfast that I'm not. Continue.
The Green Bay Packers of 2010 were 7-3. They were cooking. They had just whooped the Vikings in Minnesota, 31-3. They then lost 3 of their next 4. Now, is the scheduling a perfect comp? No. But you go to Atlanta and you lose to Atlanta, and I always tell the story about this confident locker room that was, even though they lost 20-17, their mentality was, if we come back here, we're going to beat these guys. You go home, you beat the 49ers, and then you lose at Detroit where you lose your starting quarterback to a concussion. And then you go to New England, and without your starting quarterback, you put up a good fight, but you lost. So you're sitting at 8-6 with 2 games left. You have to win to get in, and you are the last team in the dance. I don't know if there was another team that was a lower overall seed that got into this tournament than the Badgers. Tell me if I'm wrong, but they sure feel like one of the last one in, or damn close to being the last one in. And then you go to Philadelphia, and while my recollection of that game is a little blurry, you win by 5, which is a close win on the road, and it was not pretty all the time in that game, right? I think if you look back on that game, that was a grinder. That was not the Atlanta go out there and kick the daylights out of them kind of a win, right? Then, obviously, you get hot like this team has. But you were definitely left for dead. You were. You beat the Giants and you beat the Bears to get into the playoffs. I don't know what the equivalency is of the postseason run here, the regionals or whatever else. But I think there's a lot of similarities here because I thought that team was done. You're right. No one wanted to play you. But I think after the first round of the NCAA tournament, I'm guessing teams were looking at these guys feeling the same way. And I certainly don't think Michigan State loved the way their season ended, just like the top-seeded Atlanta Falcons didn't love the way that you went into their place and beat them. So I think it's a decent comp. You're entitled to change your opinion. If you have an alternative, I'd love to hear it, but I don't think there is anything quite like this team in Wisconsin sports because they're on the precipice of a championship. Maybe the 2016 team, but now they're not going to be lining up LaTroy Guion at right wing in this game on Saturday for the chance to win a national championship.
I think from my perspective, it's really rare. Like, teams get hot. The Giants, 6th seed, got hot and won a championship. Like, it does happen. We have not seen that here, where this was not a team that got hot. Typically, you limp into the playoffs, you limp out of the playoffs. And this team has found its stride. And I don't know, Jesse, I'm assuming you watched all of the game. Give me the quick synopsis of how and why we were able to get it done yesterday. Because I know we're not going to break down the entire game, but just the way this team, you have found a rally. They've rallied around and found ways to win. And now, I don't know if they're going to be favorites, but I certainly think the fact that Denver went to double overtime to beat Michigan, that's going to definitely help our cause.
And that it was the later of the 2 games, and so they played until, I think it was like 10 p.m. Vegas time last night. It was after midnight, I think, local here when that game ended. I fell asleep trying to watch the first overtime period, then I gave up and went to bed. Hauser was awesome in the net. He was fantastic, and even though he's 22, he's a freshman technically because of how hockey works. It's a crazy deal, but he's a very experienced, good goalie. So that was where he first and foremost shut down North Dakota on every opportunity they had, and they were limited in opportunities. Wisconsin at one point was like doubling North Dakota in shot attempts in the game. Like, they were just more aggressive. It seemed like they just, from the jump, they were the better, like, higher flying team yesterday. They were on the attack the majority of the day. The first goal, they were able to intercept a pass on the other end and just fling it right in. They were just the more aggressive, better team, it looked like yesterday watching. If you wouldn't have had the little number 2 next to North Dakota, I would have thought Wisconsin was the second-ranked team and North Dakota was the underdog, just watching that game yesterday.
All right. Well, so we have, I don't know if we're going to be favorites. I wish we were down at Hard Rock Casino Rockford today. We could see that. But now this is one of those where you have to close up shop, and you got to get it done because this is going to be a great run. Everybody will remember going to a Frozen Four. But what did Danny Hurley say? We're here for watches, not rings. We're here for rings, not watches. That's what this is, because you can have these great runs, and you'll never forget those moments as players, but this is the beauty and the curse of sports, is it's about getting it done. It's about getting it done, and these guys have an opportunity. What did Bob Johnson say? What did Mark Brooks, Herb Brooks, one of the Brookses say on that?
Robert Brooks?
During the Olympic run? What did he say? It's when they had to beat Finland. There's a great quote. I don't remember it off the top of my head. That's what this group is looking for. You guys got it or no?
Denver has won the national title twice in the last 4 years. They won it in 2022 and 2024. It is a great day for hockey, Bob Johnson. I'll have to look up the quote from Herb Brooks to get that for you on demand. It'll be interesting. I did enjoy their coach is David Carl, right? The Pioneers. He was rushing through his post-game interview because the hotel had told them that if they weren't back at the hotel by 10:45, they weren't going to be able to eat, which seems odd in Las Vegas, personally. But nevertheless, I don't know if they just took their stinky hockey gear and wore it back to the hotel or what, but it was a very late game. I have to admit, though, when we have that occasional argument about the best overtimes or the best, whether it's extra innings or college football versus NFL football for overtime, there ain't nothing better. It ain't great for the players because they were exhausted, which is an advantage for Wisconsin. But, man, the next goal wins. I was not planning on watching the second game to the extent that I did, but I sat through both overtimes, and there is nothing better than hockey overtime where it's win and advance, lose and go home. It was incredibly entertaining hockey, and I can't believe Denver won. Because to Jesse's point about the way Wisconsin dominated North Dakota, Michigan owned the overtime periods, and Denver got the goal from a guy who scored like one goal all year. It was an awesome finish, and I'm glad we got to watch it. Now we'll see what happens tomorrow. They dropped the puck at 4:30 Wisconsin time.
Correct, 4:30 on ESPN tomorrow evening. And as Herb Brooks said at the 1980 Olympics, after trailing 2-1 to Finland between the second and third period, if you lose this game, you'll take it to your blanking graves.
Thank you. Yeah, I just got a text from one of our good friends that's a avid listener who and that's exactly that was what I was looking for. And you're not going to take away this great run, the comeback from Michigan State and all. I'm telling you, I think fans appreciate it, really love it, but there's just something to be said. The hanging the banner, and Jason talks about this all the time, about the 2014 team not getting it done, about the 97 team, and the ramifications that has. costs Hall of Fames. It's a big deal. And the nice part about this, and I always look at this, I remember in 2000 when we won the Rose Bowl. Our men's basketball team made it to the Final Four. Our hockey team was the best team of all of it that year. The 1 seed all throughout the year, won the conference, dominated, got knocked out right away. And I always wonder if Wisconsin teams do a little bit better when the expectations are a little lower and they don't feel. Like if you start looking at it, that's when we've had a lot of success outside of the 96 season when we were Kings of the Castle all year. We haven't won a ton. Bucks 1 seed. We didn't get it done as the 1 seed, I don't believe, right? When we won the championship, we weren't the 1 seed.
They were 3 when they won it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I just wonder if there's something there because we've been 1 seeds, and I maybe will have to re-enlist the most important 1 seeds in the history. I don't want to be a 1 seed as a Wisconsin sports fan. I don't know if I want to. The Brewers, 1 seed last year, didn't get it done. Maybe there's something there. But I think just because of how I look at things, I don't think I'm going to be able to change it. I think our teams are going to have to change it. Have to overcome the high burden of being the chased, of being the top dog. The Badger hockey team doesn't have to do that. They've been able to kind of fly under the radar and just keep building confidence. And now they have a chance for eternal glory and a banner hanging from the Kohl Center. That would be fantastic.
Eternal glory. The last time that the Badgers were in the national championship was in 2010. They faced Boston College. Jesse, you're very familiar with Boston
College at the Bradley Center. Yeah, that was a good matchup 20 years ago, huh?
No, that was when they won the national title in 2006.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
When they beat Boston College in Milwaukee. They were in the national championship game in 2010 in Detroit against Boston College and lost 5-0. So those guys, I assume, like Herb Brooks would have told them, took that very hard.
Good rivalry with Boston College there in the late 2000s, huh? A couple of championship
Boston College.
Like the Pats and the Giants in the Super Bowls.
BC won the title in 08 and 10 with Boston University, winning one in between in 2009. All right, so that is your hockey minute. Wow, Boston College went and won it again in 2012. That Jerry York fellow was a good coach. Again, Denver and Wisconsin tomorrow afternoon, late afternoon, a 4:30 puck drop in Las Vegas, Wisconsin time. So if you're in Vegas and you're just out there for, the fun that you like to have in Vegas, boys trip, as Tausch called it, to Dexy, are you going to a hockey game at 2:30 if you don't have a team in the game? Like, hey, let's go swing by and watch Denver and Wisconsin in the national championship game? If you're a sports fan?
Yeah.
I'd be curious.
If you like sports, yeah. It's a championship, and you just said you're not even a hockey fan. You just said you were glued to your TV and watching. You never do. You don't even watch TV.
Yeah, I loved the overtime. That was really compelling sports, that for sure. Also compelling is the fact that
one college sport actually gets overtime right. They don't. Surprised they don't go to like a 2-on-2 from the blue line, and you just do like an inter squad scrimmage, like what red zone drill of college football overtime is.
That's a very fair point. All right, we want to stay somewhat on the clock today because we have a VIP guest who will join us on the Yingling guest hotline. I would say it's the Legends hotline in this instance. Our friend Mel Kiper. Jesse, great job getting him booked for today. Bravo. He is scheduled to appear at 11:15. That is Wisconsin time. I know there was some confusion with the graphic from ESPN for the hockey game yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't get to watch till the second period.
Missed the 2 goals in 27 seconds if you tuned in at 5.
Why don't you just start putting Mountain Time up today? Just keep mixing it up.
The graphic was
What time does the Masters start? It started at 4 a.m.
It was from
Hawaiian time.
This was from ESPN nationally, and it says at the bottom in the fine print, all times Eastern time. If no
Why
one else
on earth
wanted to
would a
read
show
that,
originating out of Wisconsin and with the Wisconsin Badgers playing, why would you make people read a disclaimer to see what time the game would be?
Because I didn't make my own graphic. I just borrowed this one from ESPN because it looked so good.
With our new friend, you can literally make a graphic in 3 seconds. You understand that. I know
you could even do it like the old school way. You could use like MS Paint and just change the 5 to a 4, and you'd have been fine. Instead,
or X it out and make it big. Yeah,
it's just handwrite it on there. Well, nevertheless, we are here to tell you these games have now been played. Wisconsin will take on Denver, the Badgers and the Pioneers
5:30
for the national
Eastern
championship.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, 4:30 Central.
What time
Daylight
is that on
time.
in Japan? I know there's a big contingent of fans in Japan that would like to watch that.
I don't know the
Stand-up
translation to Tokyo time.
And
Sorry.
Jesse will personally send you ESPN's graphic so you can join the national championship late tomorrow when you tune in at 5:30, which is the Eastern time.
So the draft, Jesse, if you were going to put up, because Mel Kiper's joining us at 11:15, if you were going to put up a draft coverage is going to be starting in 2 weeks from yesterday. And if you did that in Australian, you would have to do it a day. It would actually be a full day difference.
Right, it would be like Friday
right?
at 3 p.m. or something like that. In Australia. Yeah.
This could be a new shtick that you got, because you're technically right, because you want to be right. You obviously didn't care about ease for our audience and for our fans, so to heck with it. Just start putting up different, and we'll learn more about different time zones and how that all works.
Catch the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin at 1 o'clock Saturday Australian.
It's South African time. I'm intrigued by some of that. So, yeah, I'd like to see you do that.
Well, the good news for many of you is that you do live in Wisconsin. I know we are worldwide, and we have lots of listeners all across the globe, which we appreciate. We love that. But for those of you that live in Wisconsin, you have the opportunity to have the best windows in the business from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Yeah, and if you've been putting off replacing your windows and doors, you thought that they were coming at 4 Central and they ended up coming at 8 Hawaiian time, now is the time to get it done. Pella of Wisconsin offered 0 interest financing all the way till 2030. That's right, 0% interest until 2030. And in Wisconsin, your home does take a beating year-round. So you make sure you have the right windows and doors. They will improve your comfort, boost your energy efficiency, and upgrade your home's look. Pella's experts will help you find the perfect fit for your home in your budget. And, again, with 0 interest all the way till 2030, you can upgrade now, pay over time without paying a dime in interest. Don't wait. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
We will move off hockey and move to other subjects. Jesse was right about the 2 goals in 20 seconds. I would argue that the game turned when they killed off the 5-on-3. I thought that was...
Dexy took one off the leg. It looked pretty painful, but he saved it.
Huge. It was not a Schnorder that hit him, that's for sure. More Wilde Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
You may know someone with multiple sclerosis, but you may not know what their day-to-day reality is really like. MS affects nearly 1 million people in the U.S., impacting far more than mobility. MS can affect vision, thinking, energy, and daily life, often in ways others don't see or understand. This MS Awareness Week, take a moment to learn more, share what you learn, and be a champion for people living with MS. Learn more at nationalmssociety.org/awareness.
Thinking about buying or building a new home? Start with a mortgage pre-approval from Great Midwest Bank and experience a state of tranquility. At Great Midwest Bank, we offer fast approvals and flexible options with experienced loan officers who understand the local market, because they live here too. Whether you're breaking ground for new construction or buying that dream home just around the corner, we'll guide you every step of the way. Bank with confidence and start your journey at GreatMidwestBank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
It all started with a small storefront and a big promise. Treat every customer just like family. For decades, local families have trusted Sendix to provide the freshest food, the warmest smiles, and a place where community comes first. From generation to generation, we have grown together. Because Sendix is more than just a grocery store. It's home. Thank you for allowing us to serve you for the past 100 years. Here's to the next 100 years. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Wisconsin, let's talk about something near and dear to my heart. Beer. Specifically, great beer. And if you haven't met Yuengling yet, allow me to introduce you. Yuengling is the oldest brewery in America, founded in Pottsville, PA in 1829. 197 years, 6 generations of family-owned brewing. Do you know how they became America's oldest brewery? By making great beer. This is a real American beer. Smooth, rich, and finally here in Wisconsin. So grab a Yuengling, raise a glass, and celebrate history the way it was meant to be celebrated, by drinking it. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, ride a bike at the nation's largest bike sale. I'm Amelia Kegel with Wheel and Sprocket, and our Bike Expo sale is back at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds this weekend inside the Expo building. Electric bikes, road bikes, cargo bikes, mountain bikes, kid bikes, hybrid bikes, all on display and ready to ride. So whether you're seeking health and wellness, adventure and fun, or just a new hobby, the path to your new journey leads to the Bike Expo sale. And remember, all of our bikes come with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, which means you can ride it for 30 days. And if you don't love it, we'll refund your money.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, ride a bike. Friday noon to 8, Saturday 10 to 8, and Sunday 11 to 5 inside the Expo Center. Visit BikeExpoSale.com for details. Admission is free.
Life is short. We'll see you at the Bike Expo.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris talk to lead play-by-play broadcaster for the NBA on ESPN Radio, Mark Kestisher. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
We'll get back to Badger hockey a little bit later in the program, perhaps.
Perhaps. I got a hunch, probably not, but it is fun, man. It's fun when we win. Isn't it? Like, all the other stuff is great. Winning is just kind of everything. All the programs this. Oh, we're talking every football, all the other stuff. And here we go. You win, everybody jumps in and is excited about it. So anytime there's a solution that needs to happen, you know what the answer is, Jason?
Win.
Is it
just like Rocky told Rocky told us this, or who told Rocky that? Adrian told you. Like, Adrian is, she's the key to all these movies. She told you what the key to life in sports is. It isn't about squeezing every last dollar or naming a stadium or all this other stuff. You know what it is? Adrian told you in Rocky whatever. Win.
Yeah, I don't know. Adrian's also the one that stood at the top of the stairs yelling at Rocky and Rocky IV to tell him, "You can't win!" against Drago. So, I don't know, maybe Adrian doesn't know what the hell she's talking about.
She said that?
She does. Watch your movie classics.
She told her loving husband that he can't win?
Well, she had just witnessed her husband's best friend be killed by this Russian killing machine. She didn't want her husband to end up the same way. So then he goes on that drive.
But in fairness to her, she did, because you're right, she did come over to Moscow during later, Christmas to bring him back and give him that confidence to put him over the top.
Yeah, no better place to celebrate Christmas than Moscow in a
probably a little gorshed
and really suburban Moscow in the woods.
Is it sometimes more fun when a team that you don't cover and you may not know as much about the sport goes on a big run? Like, if the Packers are on a big playoff run, we're breaking down every component of every game and every play. When the volleyball team or when the men's hockey team is on a run like this, we're just kind of celebrating the fun of it. And I think there's something liberating about that.
It's an interesting point. Hadn't thought of it from that perspective. We're definitely not a hockey-centric show, although we have been with the captain joining us last week and now them playing for a national championship on Saturday, 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central Time for the drop of the puck in Las Vegas. We will see if they win or if they will take it to their blanking graves that they lost to the Denver Pioneers. Regardless, the Packers are expected to win this season. If they don't, they'll be taking whatever they might be taking to their graves. Speaking of graves, don't die without having your affairs in order.
Wow.
Did you see how I set that up? Did you not like that?
That might be your best transition yet.
That's why you need Walney Legal Group. That's why I need Walney Legal Group. I told you that we're dealing with some of the challenges that come with not having your affairs in order if something happens. Well, that's why Walney Legal Group is here, specializing in estate planning, wills, trusts, probate, elder care, and special needs planning. Custom, personalized experiences, not cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all stuff. That may have been a little harsh, okay? Don't go to your grave without having your affairs in order, but they're here to help you do that despite it being an uncomfortable necessity. They make it smooth, easy, and as painless as possible. They take care of you from start to finish, and their motto, lawyering the way it should be, is true. It's clear communication, it's incredible expertise, it's personal service, and it's a modern approach. So if you need to get your affairs in order, because 16% of people have it fully locked in. 16%! I'm in the 84% that don't. I got to get it together, and so do you. Go to WalneyLegal.com to start a conversation, no matter where you fall on that spectrum. WalneyLegal.com. That's WALNY Legal.com. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
You've always been competitive at work, in the gym, even with your kids. But lately you feel off. Workouts take longer to recover from. Your drive just isn't there. You know, it might not be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Mentality, we'll get to the bottom of what's really going on and build a personalized plan using testosterone replacement and peptide therapies to help restore your energy, focus, and drive. Get back the energy to being dad again. Book your appointment with Mentality at lowtusa.com. Again, that's lowtusa.com.
It's a great day for Brewers baseball, and with Brewers checking from Associated Bank, you get a powerful lineup of perks all season. Leading off is Express Entry with incredible speed. Next up, 20% off gear at the Brewers team store. Sporty stuff. And third, up to 50% off home game tickets. But if you can believe it, there's even more you can score. Because with Brewers checking, you get the strongest lineup in baseball. Only from Associated Bank. Join the crew at AssociatedBank.com/Brewers. Member FDIC.
April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and you can take action locally. Join La Causa on April 13th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Blue Tender, a special fundraising event at Blue at the Pfister, supporting La Causa's Crisis Nursery, southeastern Wisconsin's only shelter providing emergency care for children in crisis. Enjoy a night out while giving back, with 100% of tips and 10% of bar sales donated, and all proceeds matched. Make your impact go twice as far. Visit lacausa.org for details.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Something big is happening at Macy's. 60% off diamonds, 30 to 50% off the latest spring sandals and shoes, plus thousands more deals across the store. This is Macy's biggest spring sale, and these are some of the best deals of the season. The kind where you walk out wondering, how did I get all that? Really, don't sleep on this. Macy's biggest spring sale, today. Savings off select prices. Exclusions apply.
Brewers baseball is back, and there's only one way to celebrate, with a Surfside iced tea and vodka or a Surfside lemonade and vodka. Smooth, refreshing, and made for game day, Surfside is the perfect match for a day at the ballpark or catching the game at home. Surfside is only 100 calories with 0 bubbles, so it goes down easy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Turn your dream kitchen into a reality with the IKEA Dream Kitchen event. Now through April 21st, IKEA family members save 10% when they spend $3,000 or more on section kitchen cabinets and eligible appliances and countertops. That's modern style, smart storage, and everyday functionality designed your way. Plus, section cabinets come with a 25-year limited warranty. Not sure where to start? IKEA's expert kitchen planners are here to guide you every step of the way. Your dream kitchen is closer than you think. So visit IKEA Oak Creek or IKEA.us today.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
We'll talk NFL Draft with Mel Kiper, who is scheduled to appear at 12:15 Eastern Time, 11:15 Central Daylight Time. We were starting to talk about field tilters for the Packers. And now comes news that another Indianapolis Colts player, and perhaps you're familiar with the one the Packers currently have, Zaire Franklin, after acquiring him in a trade for Colby Wooden. Another Indianapolis Colt is unhappy and has mutually agreed with the Colts to seek a trade. He happens to play a position where the Packers, we all agree on this panel, have a need. His name is Kenny Moore II. And Zaire Franklin posting a photo of him and Kenny shaking hands. Tausch, we spent time talking about Dexter Lawrence, who has requested a trade, but I don't think that they've agreed upon such a move in New York with the Giants. Do you see Gutey, who needs corner help but doesn't have a whole lot of draft picks, finding a player on his roster like Colby Wooden that he can make another trade with the Colts? Because he seems to like trading with the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe he's got him and Chris Ballard, the former Badgers wide receiver, are working on another deal.
I think if there is a corner that you feel good about and you want, this makes a ton of sense. And obviously the Colts, for whatever reason, it seems as if I'm not even real sure what they're doing and how they're approaching it, because those guys need to win or they're done. Like, their owner pretty much come out and said this year needs to be a win for that organization. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and tell you. I'm not breaking down corner film, how physical guys are, and if this guy's if this guy's a player. Now, I don't know. What I do know is this team needs some reinforcements in the back end, and especially at corner. Now, you're going to feel really good about your three safeties and however you're going to play Bullard, if it's going to be in the slots or what. I think he's one of those guys that they're really expecting to take a huge jump. Loved him at the end of the year. He's going to be a huge contributor and a big-time performer for Green Bay if this defense is going to be good. I don't know what you would give up. Definitely not going to give up draft capital. And then I'm always leery of trading for guys at the back end of their contract. I don't think Green Bay is going to be in, and I don't know, how old is this dude, Jason?
So here's why I brought him up.
Junior. What's his name? Smith Jr.?
Kenny Moore II.
Is he related to Ronald Moore?
Kenny. I think he's actually a descendant of Bob Moore and his quotes. Look, I never want to say never, because then Gutey goes out and signs a 33-year-old defensive tackle like Javon Hargrave. But Kenny Moore, not only does he want a new contract, he will also turn 31 on August 23rd.
Yeah,
so before the season starts. So while Zaire Franklin may very well want one of his teammates to come on over to Green Bay, I don't see that. I don't see Dexter Lawrence. I don't see the Packers doing these things. And to your point, I really don't see them giving up more draft capital. I see them trying to accumulate draft capital. They've got lots of it in 2027. It doesn't help them in 2026. So I expect them to be trading back, looking to add more picks so they don't finish with 7 without a first-rounder, which would be the smallest class in Gutey's time as the general manager. Kenny Moore is a one-time Pro Bowler, by the way, so let's not make him out to be Kenny Easley or Deion Sanders either. But intriguing that Zaire Franklin wants his former teammate after 9 NFL seasons to join him in Green Bay. All right, but this leads into the question that I have, which is we're having this conversation because the Packers really need some players that can make a difference for them. They have their starting lineup largely set, and I think it's a pretty good starting lineup on both sides of the ball. But how many true field tilters do they have? Depending on how you define that and how loose your definition is, that will decide how many you believe they have on their team currently. I'm not sure if I'm willing to say that they have more than 2. There's a third that I have gone back and forth on, only because he was definitely a field tilter 2 years ago, and then it seemed teams did a pretty good job of scheming to avoid him from having an impact on the game as much as he did in his first season, and that in Green Bay, and that is Xavier McKinney. If he's not a field tilter, he's damn close to being one going into 2026. I guess I lean toward giving it to him and having there be 3, with Micah Parsons and Tucker Kraft being the others. I thought about Christian Watson. I thought about Edgerrin Cooper. I think those guys could become field tilters if they both stay healthy and they make the plays that we've seen them be capable of making. But Tausch, I don't think there's any other slam dunks on this list. Do you agree or disagree?
I think Jordan Love at least should be mentioned in that. I know he only had 23 touchdowns last year. I thought he took a lot of steps. And if you're a top, what number quarterback in the league do you need to be a field tilter? Or is it just a vibe? Because Micah Parsons is a lock, stock, guaranteed field tilter. Everybody bullseyes him. We all know that. As we sit here now, there's no one else. I think Edgerrin Cooper has opportunities to be a field tilter, but I can't put him in that category yet. Tucker Kraft is a field tilter, no doubt about it. Christian Watson is a field tilter. I have 3 for sure.
When he's on the field.
And then I look at, he was on the field for a vast majority of the second half of the season last year, and he's healthy as we sit. He's the healthiest of those field tilters right now. He's the healthiest.
Yep.
And then Jordan Love, I think if you have a quarterback that you think you can do everything with, and he's, I know he hasn't proven it on a consistent basis, but I thought last year he was the most consistent we've seen. And I do believe he is on that cusp of being that. And if he is, this team can go and do big things. If he's not, they're a nice football team that can, be a playoff team. The difference will be him. And he knows that, and that's the beauty and the curse of playing that position. Is you can have, Sam Darnold, I don't think anybody would say is a field tilter, but he had enough guys around him, and he played good enough in the big moments when he needed to get it done. I think we'll need more from Jordan Love for this team and for this roster to do that. Because I think Seattle, again, totally different team. They lost guys. That's what happens when you're a Super Bowl champ. People are going to come pick your players off.
Mm-hmm.
But their depth last year and quality of player, and along with their field tilters, that's what got them a championship. We need a field tilter on special teams. I don't know if Sky Moore is going to be that. He obviously hasn't been to this point. But Rashid Shaheed did tilt their field once he was acquired by them. And you factor all those in. If you can have one on each group, you're positioned to be really dang good. That's what Seattle did. Green Bay has, I think you could say really confidently 2, and probably a lukewarm get to 3 or 4 at the most. That's where Green Bay's sitting here right now. But none are on special teams, except for potentially the punter.
He certainly flips the field position if he's not a field tilter. Christian Watson last year played in 10 games in the regular season. He caught 35 passes for 611 yards and 6 touchdowns on 55 targets. He changes the dynamic of their offense when he is healthy. There is no denying that. He had 3 catches for 36 yards and a touchdown in the playoff game that they ultimately lost to the Bears as well. Again, he suffers the ACL injury in the regular season finale of the 2024 season. In 2023, he played in 9 games. He missed 8 and parts of at least 2 others. So there have been questions throughout his 4 years in Green Bay about if he can stay on the field in order to tilt it. But when he's on it, he is a field tilter. I couldn't agree with you more. And if he plays, I think you said yesterday that you're not wagering on him playing all 17 games. Probably not. The track record would indicate that he's not going to do that. But if he plays
you give
in
me
15,
14 right now, I'll take it. 14,
I would agree.
I'll take it right now.
Yep. Because they are different when he's out there. Is there anyone?
So, Jason, we're both Ron Wolf. We both love Ron Wolf. I think we can agree with that. I owe a lot to Ron Wolf. Just the whole deal. I love Ron Wolf. In today's more watered down, more games, more playoff teams than what Ron had, is it more important now to have your field tilters, or is it more important to have great depth? What would you pick if you're a GM?
That's
because
a really good question.
Gutey really made that pick last year. He had been doing the young and develop and a la little more Ted. Green Bay has not won championships without monster field tilters. Everybody that wins a championship has field tilters, at least for certain parts of their season. Because field tilters make big plays in big-time moments. That's what a field tilter does. Green Bay last year, when they made the trade to for Micah, decided this is more important than having that great depth. Because when you give up 2 firsts and you give up a Kenny Clark and you're doing it this way, you're not going to have the depth, and you can't pay a Quay Walker, or you choose not to. And you have to go and piecemeal it together a little bit more, and you have to hope that you keep guys healthy. So the Ron Wolf way of thinking, he is the inventor of the term field tilter, I do believe, or at least he popularized it. Is Ron Wolf's philosophy now outdated?
So as I look at the last 6 Super Bowl champs, going back to when the Buccaneers beat the Packers in the NFC Championship game with you and Max in the stands with a handful of others at Lambeau Field. The Super Bowl matchups in those 6 Super Bowls. Tampa beat Kansas City. The Rams beat the Bengals. The Chiefs beat the Eagles. The Chiefs beat the 49ers. The Eagles beat the Chiefs. And the Seahawks beat the Patriots this past February. I don't know those rosters as well as I know the Packers roster. But I look at them and think, okay, they all have some field tilters, but their quarterbacks played at extremely high levels, right? I mean, whether it's Matthew Stafford for the Rams after they make that trade, or Tom Brady, or obviously Mahomes in most of those instances. And now we have a Super Bowl champion that, while he played well all season long, and I'm not going to trash Sam Darnold, as we discussed repeatedly, he had one great game, and that was what they needed from him to get to the Super Bowl, right? To beat the Rams. If you don't have a quarterback that plays at an extremely high level, then you need more field tilters elsewhere, because star power, I think, still matters. But if you make me choose, I'm taking depth. Because it's become even more of a slog, even more of a marathon, and we have seen all too many teams. Ask the Detroit Lions of a couple years ago. I am sure they feel like their roster, which was still good enough to finish 14-3, 15-2, or whatever they did, was still good enough to be in position, but they lost so much attrition of injuries that by the time they got to the end of the season, they didn't have enough guys to fill in on defense, and they didn't make it to the Super Bowl. And their drought of never having been to a Super Bowl in the Super Bowl era continued. So, again, you had field tilters on your 2010 championship team, but what you really had was a bunch of guys that were giving you options when you had 17 guys on IR. So I'm actually picking quality depth over field tilters.
I actually look at that 2010 team and look at it the complete opposite of you, in the fact that had any of those field tilters been the guys that got hurt, I don't know if you could have overcome it. Now, that was a 16-game schedule. That was different. You talked about the Chiefs and their field tilters. The recipe is Philadelphia has had great depth on their D-line when they won their championship. When they didn't, they didn't. They don't have. Philadelphia, Saquon Barkley was a field tilter. Jalen Carter, you could say their D-line was field tilting, but it was depth that wore them down. But if they don't have a Saquon Barkley with the year he put up, they didn't go to the Super Bowl. So for as much as I look at this, you still need your stars, but the problem is you need them to stay healthy, and it's more and more difficult in today's day and age to stay healthy. So it's an interesting debate. The Packers have went with star power. That is the role. That's the move that Brian Gutekunst has made, and I believe he is going to get paid off on it. I also think you're now gambling more. The Packer fans have said we've been too safe. We haven't went all in. We haven't went for it. And I just don't know how any Packer fan can say that when you make the move to get Micah Parsons. That should have said no. Now, if you want to say you didn't draft well enough and you haven't stocked the shelves with the other depth that you need to, that is a fair critique. And he has not gotten the O-line right. But anyone that is saying we haven't swung for the fence, I don't know what else you could possibly ask of Gutey than what he's done.
Well, here's the problem.
And that part of Gutey, I'm still a Gutey stan.
Here's the problem. The two guys that they lost, the field-tilting players that they lost, Micah Parsons and Tucker Kraft, they should have had two guys that were capable of rising up and not completely filling the void, but certainly coming closer to replicating the guys they were replacing than they did. Rashawn Gary was not only a first-round pick, but received a $96 million extension. He did not record a single sack or tackle for loss after Micah Parsons went down. Luke Musgrave was a second-round pick who was ahead of Tucker Kraft on the depth chart as a rookie. He did not rise up. In fact, John Fitzpatrick was playing more than he was after Tucker Kraft went down. There's the problem, right? Because you did theoretically have depth at the two positions where you lost your field tilters, and while those guys weren't going to play at the same level, you needed them to be better than they were, and neither one of them was.
But agree. I totally agree. But what we've seen in Brian Gutekunst is that he will pay the price for premium talent. He is not going to. I think he's lessons learned. He's not going to pay not premium, but the next level below. What's the next level below premium? He's not going to pay those prices for good play. He would rather go young and go with guys that are going to make some mistakes, have your premier guys position themselves, pay them, and then because you're paying for such top notch, you then can't go to that next level. And Rashawn Gary would have been in that next level. While he was the highest paid at the time he got it, by the time Micah Parsons came to town, he was probably a top 20 paid player. He didn't perform, and I think that just reiterates that Gutey's thing is, if we don't believe you're a premium player, we are not going to give you that second. Used to be third. Now it's almost the point we're not even going to give you the second contract unless it is directly on our terms, a la Quay Walker. That is what he has decided, and when we don't, we will pivot to a Zaire. We'll pivot to somebody that maybe isn't going to be up to Quay, but is also not going to have to pay like we would have had to pay Quay. That's the philosophy of Brian Gutekunst.
It's true. Well, he better insure carefully then, because otherwise you lose your field tilters again, and you're going to be right back where you started. That's why we need American Family Insurance.
Indeed, American Family Insurance is always a great call. I've been around the game a while, and I'll tell you, having the right people in your corner makes all the difference. That's what you get with American Family Insurance. Local agents who understand what you've built and are going to help you protect it with the right home and auto coverage, all at the right price. So when life throws something your way, you're ready to handle it. Get a quote. Find an agent at amfam.com. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance.
More next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. All day, every day. The Cardless Talk and Text line is open for you.
We're not trying to get from A to B. We're trying to get from A to SB, as in the Super Bowl.
800-990-3776. The Cardless Talk and Text line. This is more.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 48-ounce selected varieties Stone Ridge ice cream, 2 for $7. 80% lean ground beef, $4.49 per pound. Fresh red seedless grapes, $1.99 per pound. 46-ounce selected varieties Tropicana lemonades or punches, 2 for $5.
Safe.
What?
It's a long fly ball.
Every time I scan, what is happening?
A leaping grab at the wall.
Okay, fine, I'll play. Get a load of this watermelon. And here's the pitch.
Please wait for assistance.
Win Century Foods' ultimate fan experiences at Milwaukee baseball games. Throw out the first pitch, hold the ribbon for the Johnsonville famous sausage race, or watch batting practice from the field.
Ooh, what do I do?
Complete the entry form in Century's weekly ad and return to the store.
Oh, no, what happened here?
Oh, self-checkout couldn't handle my heater. Here, I filled out my entry form. Gotta go. Have a great day.
I'll go get the mop.
Enter by August 5th.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
At Saturn Lounge, we know if your marketing actually worked, you would know. Your website would perform. Your storytelling would inspire. Your campaigns would deliver leads that become sales. You wouldn't need a report to tell you. Visit SaturnLounge.com today. When marketing works, it shows.
When you're getting married, the rings matter. There's something you wear for a lifetime. That's why my fiance and I went to Paul's Jewelers. Paul's Jewelers specializes in custom jewelry for life's biggest moments. Lab-grown or natural diamonds, great pricing, and a lifetime warranty, so your jewelry can be refurbished, repaired, or refitted anytime down the road. Their team made the entire process easy and stress-free. I can't wait to show off my wedding band after our big day. Create your masterpiece today by visiting Paul's Jewelers in West Allis.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Bike crash? Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
As Mark Tauscher is known to occasionally say, "Let's go!" Jesse Nelson, is this graphic that we have on the video stream right now for the national championship, that doesn't look like you just whipped it up with your friend ChatGPT. There should be like a field goal kicker silhouette in it then if you had done that yourself.
Silhouette.
That looks like a... It looks like ESPN's handiwork, but you got the time fixed.
Yes, that's That's a little Jesse special, adding 4:30 Central Time on the bottom there for you guys, because I didn't want any confusion for the national championship. Fans arriving late to ESPN2 yesterday.
Good work, Jesse.
So here we go. We're promoting this all day for everybody. Now, I do have some. There's another fun graphic here that ESPN had that I want to share. So Rich Eisen's going to be hosting Sports Center again on Sunday night, and it says here at midnight Eastern. So I'm not sure if I should put this one up there for you guys or not.
So does that mean we could be late Monday because he's not on, or is that he's going to?
I think he's doing both. I think he's doing Sports Center, and then it won't impact his show the next day. I would guess. So yeah.
Live from Bristol. That would be 11 p.m. Central Daylight Time if you want to tune in for that Sports Center.
9 o'clock for those who will be in Vegas through the weekend for the Badger hockey game. Should I go? We were just talking in the office. It'd be pretty.
Why not?
It'd be pretty easy to book like a 9 a.m. flight tomorrow, whether it's from Madison or Milwaukee. Get there, plenty of time to get to the arena.
Well, actually, I think Rockford has direct flights too, and you get free parking with the Rockford Airport.
You could swing by the Hard Rock Casino, Rockford, and put in a wager, and then get on the plane.
Yeah, double. I could win wagers in multiple states on this game on Saturday, depending on how we feel about it.
Maybe you can have a connecting flight in Dubuque while you're at it.
This would be. This is a fun, enticing thing for Badger fans to go to Vegas for a Saturday late afternoon Central Time hockey game and then party up all weekend, whether they win or lose. It's very enticing.
Would Becca go with you, or are you going solo if you did this?
When they won in the Elite Eight against Michigan State, we were at a meat raffle up north, and before I was too many Coors Lights in, I suggested to the group, we can go to Vegas. Becca was just saying she had the hankering for a little weekend vacation. I said, we could do this.
She had the hankering for a little meat raffle.
We had a nice day at the meat raffle, and then we wanted to get out. She wanted to go sit by a pool and go into some warm weather for just a weekend. And I said,
sure,
this is it. They're playing a hockey game Thursday. We fly out Thursday after the show. We get there. We watch the hockey game.
Just go
Thursday.
Do it, man.
I'm going to start looking at flights. I'm looking at flights for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Go do it.
All right, Jesse will
cover you Monday.
Us.
We'll give Jason. We'll give him Monday off, right? We'll let him have Monday.
Why not? Really? I mean, let's be honest. I'm sure Riley or Hunter would love to step into the breach. Jesse, you look up flights. We'll get an update on that. I want to get into a little bit of a Jordan Love conversation coming up. But, look, you don't have to do what Jesse's going to do, which is, at least he hopes, hop on a plane. I think he's boarded a cruise ship or two to get away and escape as well. But your next getaway is waiting for you in Milwaukee at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Start with the stay. Biggest hotel rooms in Milwaukee, nearly 500 beautifully designed rooms and luxury suites, perfect for a weekend reset, a date night, or celebrating something big, and you're just steps away from all the cool stuff that's happening inside. And if you're hungry, you got all kinds of options. Dream Dance Steakhouse, The Marketplace, Rock and Brews, Canal Street Cafe, Ruyi Asian Kitchen, Cream City Coffee Company. Listen to that list. And they all have food and drink specials happening all the time. And if you're planning a wedding, a birthday, or an anniversary, their event spaces are built to make it unforgettable. Sophisticated relaxation, incredible flavor, and a full night out all in one place, and it doesn't even cost you airfare. Potawatomi Casino Hotel. The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch starts in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
As you know, I love grilling, and I'm always looking for something new to throw on the grill. Well, every once in a while, something comes along that's just too good to pass up. And boy, I'm pumped because Sendik's Wild Game Sale is back. After how popular it was last time, Sendik's is once again taking pre-orders on wild game you normally can't find. things like venison, elk, wild boar, and goat. Available in steaks, tenderloin, stew meat, and sausage. These go fast, so get your order in now. Head over to Sendix.com and place your order for pickup on April 25th or 26th. And here's the really fun part. This sale also features some truly unique options like camel tenderloin, kangaroo strip steak, ground duck, and even frog legs. If you're looking to kick off grilling season with something different, this is it. The Sendix Wild Game Sale starts April 25th, but don't wait. Order now at Sendix.com. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Take it home this April at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. $300,000 is on the line, and you're at bat to win your share. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays. Plus, your April drawing entries all count toward another prize drawing in June. It's the Base Race Game Show. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Got your tax refund? Before it mysteriously disappears, invested in something you'll actually see every day. Your home. At Exterior Pros and Baths, turn that refund into energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath remodel. And they'll take it even further with $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during the April savings event. But don't wait. This offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Tune into The Rich Eisen Show weekdays from 12 to 2, right here on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now. And it begins with my, I wouldn't say it was a startling admission, but it was an admission that I didn't realize that Jordan Love threw only 23 touchdown passes last year until I was at his event where he gave away the cleats. He had 4 in the playoff game, and then he had 4 empty possessions to start the second half when the Packers went into the half with a 21-3 lead and eventually emerged with a 31-27 defeat. Tausch, what that spawned was the idea of projecting what his numbers will be for 2026, and rightfully so, because I think you and I both agree that this team's success rises and sets with how he plays. And Joe Thomas was in as our cousin sub of the day a couple weeks ago, talked about the importance of him, of Matt LaFleur kind of taking the governor off, letting go of the reins a little bit. You know, we always talk about that 2023 season when he told Jordan Love to let it rip, and I suggested that maybe the play caller needed to let it rip himself, which he did. Do you feel like last year they let it rip? When you look at the way their offense functioned after losing Tucker Kraft and as they worked Christian Watson back into the mix, because that happened within a week span. Watson came back for the Pittsburgh game on October 25th, and they lost Tucker Kraft the very next week against Carolina on November 2nd.
I think they opened it up a little bit. This all works in one big cycle, and you're trying to piece together. You have Tucker Kraft. You don't know when Watson's going to come back, and then things change, and your O-line, had a bunch of shifting with injuries and different things. So I thought throughout the year, Jordan, his consistency was a lot better than what we've seen. I thought his command, I think his highlights, obviously that first half against the Bears. When you look back at the Pittsburgh second half, there still needs to be more. You can't have the lulls that what we've seen with this offense. And however you pull out of it, whether it's you're trying because you have a lead and you're trying to run the football, you have to find a way. And, for everybody last year that was trying to say that Matt LaFleur got conservative and you had a lead and you tried to sit on it and all of those things, the numbers just don't dictate that. The execution would say that we did that, but as far as the numbers and how things played, that's what you're always going to remember is how the season ended. But throughout the course of the year, I thought Jordan, his accuracy has just improved so much. His decision-making and his getting in the right play, those are the things that you just want to continue to build off of. But I think Jordan, his trajectory has went better than I anticipated when they made the move to move him to the starting quarterback. And now it's time to take that next jump. The next jump is, what does it take for us to win games? It can't just be about your own personal development. He's done that. He's won a lot of games, but it's finding ways to win those games that I think a lot of us look at the Packers giving away last year. Can't do it all himself. No quarterback can. But when you elevate to that next step, you find ways. If there's 5 games on that calendar last year that you gave away, or the defense didn't make a stop, or the special teams butchered it, or whatever, you could find 100 ways to do it. Find a way to win 3 of those. All of a sudden, you're looking at 11 or 12 wins, and your whole playoff positioning is different. That's what those star quarterbacks do. They'll make mistakes, and you'll lose a game or two because of them, but they'll also find ways that they pull out games that maybe you didn't have any business winning, and that is typically the difference between those top 3 or 4 guys and where Jordan's at, which is probably in that 6, 7, 8 range.
So you said that he is won. I do not believe that quarterback wins is a statistic, even though you say that I do. The Packers' record in games in which he has started, which includes the loss in Kansas City in 2021, and also includes a 1-3 record in the playoff games that he has started, is 28, 23, and 1. That's 3 years into his time as the starter. Is that better or worse than you expected from the 2020 first round pick who was replacing a 4-time NFL MVP? Is that record in the 3 years since they moved on from Rodgers? Because as everyone kept pointing out, Jordan was 27 last year. He was in his 3rd year as the starter. That was the year that Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl, was in his 3rd year as the starter. That was the elevation point for him. That doesn't mean that Jordan Love won't have his elevation point in year 4, just because they were the same age. And I think there were people pointing out, 27. You know, Favre was 27 when they won the Super Bowl, and Rodgers was, and now Jordan is. They're going to win.
I think Bart Starr was too, wasn't he?
That I would have to fact check. But if this is his elevation year, where his elevators do line up, and he plays at the highest level we've seen, I like their chances if they stay healthy. And if he stays healthy. And that's the other thing. You know, maybe last year, and maybe it was controversial in some people's views, when I said they lost the 2 players they could least afford to lose, and neither one of them was named Jordan Love, that was because I believe they had the best backup in football. They don't have that anymore. And now I don't know if they can turn Desmond Ridder into the second coming of Malik Willis and rehabilitate him. He has more starts in the NFL than Malik Willis had when they got him. But now, if there's anybody that they need to stay healthy all season long, now it's the quarterback for sure, right?
I mean, obviously, I still think Micah needs to be back on that side of it. But, yeah, we don't know what Ridder, we don't know McCoy, I don't know who's going to be the guy. And if they can do what Malik Willis did, I would say the odds of that happening would be no. But the odds of Jordan Love being a great player or a really good player, depending on how you want to look at it, were also low. So this is Jordan Love. It's no more. There's no more. Oh well, you know, let's grow and develop and let's have growing pains. Like I said, man,
it is.
Alan Thicke is gone. Kirk Cameron. I don't know who else was on that show.
Tracy
But the
Gold.
growing pains. Tracy Gold. Those days are over. It is time to mature, and these should be your salad years, your elevator years, whatever years you're looking for. You're in it, man, and the expectations. It's no longer all. There's no more really excuses or thoughts. He needs to be top notch. And I think he's positioned himself to do exactly that. I think everything is lined up. I thought he has gotten better every year. He's gotten more. I just think his decision making and what he's doing, he's gotten better and better. His talent, and with that, your talent and your confidence grows, and you can really start seeing that big jump. And that's what we need to see from him this year. And if he does, you're going to feel really good about this football team. If he is the same as he was last year, I think you'd be pretty happy with where this football team is. But you'd love to see him take that next step.
You'll also be pretty happy if you're a Wisconsin system alum and you go out and join UW Credit Union.
And for every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here forever. You proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. Are going to help you reach your financial goals. And I saw Bucky just kept sitting. He was sitting in different spots last night, and then I saw some victory parties around the Madison area that he was there. Bucky is everywhere. UW Credit Union is everywhere. And if you're ready to give fees, the stiff arm, UW Credit Union can help. No monthly fees, no overdrafts that cost more than $5. Save members over $12 million per year. Join today at uwcu.org. Insured by NCAA. Terms and conditions do apply.
Jesse's got some blind resumes for us. We'll hear him next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. All day, every day. The Cardless Talk and Text line is open for you.
We're not trying to get from A to B. We're trying to get from A to SB, as in the Super Bowl.
800-990-3776. The Cardless Talk and Text line. This is more.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Mark Tauscher here, and you know I love a smart play from the pocket. That's why I joined UW Credit Union. With their mobile banking app, I can make smart plays from anywhere. And with rewards checking perks like early payday, I score my money sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and make the smart play by becoming a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCAA. Terms and conditions apply.
Kyle Brust-Nortman's Ben Brust here for Grimal & Associates Insurance. They do what anyone with a growing family, like myself, does. Protect what matters most. Grimal & Associates specializes in coverage that's tailored exactly to you. Clients aren't just policies. They're part of their community. Personalized American Family Insurance back service, expert guidance, and genuine commitment. Grimal & Associates focuses on building trusted relationships and providing peace of mind. The same values they've had for over 30 years in the Milwaukee area. Connect with Grimal & Associates at teamgrimal.com.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, ride a bike. Friday noon to 8, Saturday 10 to 8, and Sunday 11 to 5 at State Fair Park inside the Expo Center.
Visit bikeexposale.com for details. Admission is free.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Nail Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future.
We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and you can take action locally. Join La Causa on April 13th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Blue Tender, a special fundraising event at Blue at the Pfister, supporting La Causa's Crisis Nursery, southeastern Wisconsin's only shelter providing emergency care for children in crisis. Enjoy a night out while giving back, with 100% of tips and 10% of bar sales donated, and all proceeds matched. Make your impact go twice as far. Visit lacausa.org for details.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Jesse, you going to fly on tomorrow and then fly back on Sunday or Monday?
I'm looking into flying Saturday morning and then flying back Sunday night. So one night stay. But
okay, how's that going for you?
A little more, a little pricier last minute travel than I would have expected.
If you come back Monday, I got some non-stops for you out of O'Hare. $249.
Well, see, I'm not doing this trip solo. I'm also trying to figure out if I can convince a friend to go with.
Would you fly out of O'Hare?
I would strongly consider flying out of O'Hare, yes. Okay. I like flying out of Milwaukee. I would consider O'Hare if one of my Chicago buddies would go with.
Okay. Well, good luck. Report back.
Probably not happening.
We went from being a dating agency to now we're a travel agency. I like that.
Yeah, we never even got to the text messages I received after the show from a couple of divorced dads that are friends of mine who were looking for some intel.
Ask Mel Kiper for some draft prospects for our friend.
Which I did not have any intel really other than what was shared on the show. So, all right. So how do we look at the Packers' quarterback situation? Well, let's get a little insight by playing some blind resumes. Where did this come from? You stole this idea from Hunter Vaughn, didn't you?
I'm inspired by a few different people on this. So Hunter Vaughn is
inspired. Is that translated to plagiarizing?
No, not entirely. Hunter Vaughn is the king of blind resumes here on Wilde and Tausch. Usually when he fills in for me as a cousin sub of the day, which he might be needed on Monday, we play the blind resume game. And I was listening to Unsportsmanlike with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman weekday mornings on ESPN Radio.
Were you listening when Canty called Mel Kiper Adam Schefter?
I did catch that this morning. It was fun. But there was some conversation about Jordan Love relative to a couple of other quarterbacks in the National Football League this week. And so I wanted to play our little blind resume game here for you.
23 touchdowns. That one is Jordan Love.
So these are numbers from the last 3 years. 3 years since Jordan Love took over as the starting quarterback of the Green Bay Packers.
I like this. Could you make the font smaller?
Our friend ChatGPT helped me with the creation of
Trivia
this.
Challenge. This isn't trivia.
It's trivia. Sure it is.
No, it's not. It's a blind resume.
Yeah.
Is this font considered small, or is Jason going blind?
I don't know what you're I don't know what you're watching it on. I'm watching it on a baby phone like Jesse used to usually watch sporting events.
Good news is we're an audio platform also, so I will share the resumes for you so you don't have to be able to read them.
Okay.
So we have quarterback 1, quarterback 2, and quarterback 3. Quarterback number 1, in the last 3 years, 27 wins and 19 losses.
Okay.
Average season, 3,643 passing yards. Touchdowns to interceptions in the regular season, 80 touchdowns to 28 interceptions in the last 3 years.
Pretty good.
In the playoffs, 9 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions, and a 1-3 record. That's QB1.
Yeah, that's Jordan Love.
Okay. QB2 in the last 3 years, 28 wins, 18 losses, similar to QB1. Average for a season just over 4,000 passing yards, 4,019. Touchdowns to interceptions, 62 to 25 in the regular season, so a little bit less than QB1 in both categories. And in the playoffs, 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions with a 3-3 postseason record. So better winning in the playoffs, but statistically, fewer touchdowns and more interceptions than QB1. And then our final quarterback here, QB3 in the last 3 years, same as QB1, 27 wins, 19 losses. Average passing yards, 3,577, a little bit less than the first guy. Touchdowns to interceptions, 69 touchdowns, 23 interceptions, a little bit less of each. In the playoffs, 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions. That's not very good. With an 0-2 postseason record. So those are the 3 resumes, 3 quarterbacks, fairly similar. Can you identify who QB1, QB2, and QB3 are?
Are any of these Jordan Love?
Yeah, the first one is.
Yes, the entire conversation was inspired by Jordan Love's accolades. So yes, one of them is Jordan Love.
So I think QB2 is Josh Allen. And then I think QB3 is Jared Goff.
Okay, Jordan Love, Josh Allen, and Jared Goff, Tausch's guesses.
I'm going to pull back on Goff. They didn't have that many losses because they had that great year.
0-2 in the playoffs is what's tripping me up on
that's
the third
hard
one.
part, so it's not Goff. Mahomes 1-1. I'm going to go Lamar Jackson with QB3.
Okay.
I don't think QB2, that 3-3 in the last 3 years. That means that, I suppose it's
3 games.
Right, so that's not someone who won a championship, I'm going to guess. Because all 3 years you lost a game, obviously. Boy. Do we get any hints at all? I'm right about QB1, right? I mean, that's Love.
QB1 is Jordan Love. I will unveil that for you.
Thank you very
correct.
much.
QB1 is Jordan Love. Neither of the others has won an MVP or really been in the conversation for it at any given point. So Josh Allen is incorrect in Tausch's assertion for QB2.
Okay.
Again, the resumes here. QB2, 28 wins, 18 losses, 4,000 yards passing average over the 3 years. 62 touchdowns to 25 interceptions. In the playoffs, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 3-3. QB3, 27-19, 3,500 passing yards on average. 69 touchdowns, 23 interceptions. In the postseason, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions.
QB3 is Justin Herbert. QB3 is Justin Herbert.
Okay.
Ooh.
Any other guesses?
And QB2, 6 games. That's a lot of playoff games.
That is.
Jared Goff.
All right. Jason, you want to put any last guess?
Yeah, I was thinking QB3 was Baker Mayfield, but I think Baker Mayfield won a playoff game, so it can't be him either.
All right.
So
the big unveil for you guys here. You know QB1 is Jordan Love. CJ Stroud is QB2.
Well, that's proof that QB wins are not a stat.
And Justin Herbert of the Chargers is QB3.
Oh, Tausch got that one.
So
well
nice,
done.
Nice going, Tausch. So comparing these three guys, I think what stands out from the exercise is these specific numbers. And obviously with these games, you can cherry pick which numbers you include and whatnot. But not all that much different. Jordan Love to CJ Stroud to Justin Herbert.
So does that tell us that none of them are special at this point?
Well, what does it tell you? You played the game.
I'll say it tells me that none of them are really, truly special at this point. And Jordan Love's thrown a lot more touchdown passes, even though he only had 23 last year.
But I would bet if you put Jalen Hurts and... who else would you want to put in that next level category? I don't think those numbers are going to be that much different. Sam Darnold. You put Sam Darnold and or Jalen Hurts in there, I don't think those numbers are going to be that much different. What this tells me is that of this group, I don't know what this even tells me. This tells me this is pretty average. This tells me it's pretty average. Like C.J. Stroud, I don't think Houston's going to give him a big new extension. I would not. He needs to have a much better year than what he did last year. Justin Herbert got paid. I think he got beat up. If they stay healthy, I think he had a good season last year. But is he an elevator guy? He has not been to this point. I would take Jordan Love over these two quarterbacks, and I feel good about it, but the proof is in the stats, and these stats right now are saying good, not great. Not transformative. There's a lot of reasons for that, but that's what that tells me.
Jalen Hurts, to your point, in the last, let's say, 4 seasons, because he's been to 2 Super Bowls in 4 years, winning 1, losing 1. His teams are 6-3 in the postseason. He has thrown 10 touchdown passes and only 1 interception in the postseason. So he has played pretty damn good football for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I understand they have a good defense.
He's been great in Super Bowls. I would say this. I don't believe of the 32 executives in this league, I don't know. I don't even know. Philly would say this publicly, but I would wonder privately how many teams would take Jalen Hurts over Jordan Love. I don't think it would be Jordan would win that balloting. To what degree, I don't know, but I feel fairly confident that Jordan would win that in relative ease. That I'd rather have Jordan Love than Jalen Hurts as my quarterback for the 2026 season.
So this is obviously us guessing and us having some semblance of a bias because he's the quarterback that we pay the closest attention to. Do we overvalue him?
Maybe.
When we say things like that? Like,
I said that
looked
with
at those
Cap last year, and I 100% agree with myself on that. I've also... No, because I haven't said Jordan Love is a top 5 guy.
No.
I said he was a top 3 guy heading into the NFC last year, and if I look at the NFC quarterbacks from last year, Dak Prescott's ahead of him. Matthew Stafford was ahead of him last year. I didn't put Goff ahead of him. I didn't put Jalen Hurts ahead of him. I wouldn't put Sam Darnold ahead of him. And you could say, well, Sam Darnold won a championship. That's true. I think Sam Darnold did a really nice. I can't poo-poo Sam Darnold. I don't remember who all made the Pro Bowl, but I'll say I was very surprised, and I think the numbers are a reason partly why he didn't make the Pro Bowl last year.
Yeah, I was just actually laughing at the phrase, I agree with myself on that. That I found amusing. That's all. I also find Steinhoffel's to be a great place to upgrade your home. We did it. Right? Finally. Took a long time, but we finally did it with our new furniture in our living room. And your home should be as unique as you are. And at Steinhafels, their best brand sale puts top quality style, comfort, and customization within reach. Save up to 30% on the brands you know and trust for your living room, like we did, bedroom, dining room, including special order pieces, so you can really and truly make it yours. Because when every detail reflects your style, that's when it really feels like home. The Steinhafels Best Brand Sale, happening now. Relax. It's Steinhafels. Or Wilde Tausch, straight ahead, stick around.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Put Brewers weekends back on your schedule when the Crew take on the Nationals April 10th through the 12th. Collect a new Mish trading card bobblehead for the first 25,000 fans on Saturday the 11th, courtesy of Toyota. Then reserve Sunday for a full day of family fun. Kids can run the bases, get autographs, and the first 5,000 kids get a Brewers wiffle ball set, courtesy of Joy. Plus, it's a kids cheer free Sunday. Grab your seat at brewers.com/tickets.
Brewers baseball is back, and there's only one way to celebrate. With a Surfside iced tea and vodka or a Surfside lemonade and vodka. Smooth, refreshing, and made for game day. Surfside is the perfect match for a day at the ballpark or catching the game at home. Surfside is only 100 calories with 0 bubbles, so it goes down easy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
Burkhardt Sporting Goods has a great reputation for producing custom team apparel. We're total team outfitters and we can handle the biggest jobs. Our success in custom team apparel led us into group and corporate apparel. Plus, we have a full selection of promotional products for employee gifts, special events, you name it. And we've made it easy for our customers to firm up their orders. The group sale web stores that we build for our customers are a simple way of gathering all the information you need. They're easy to work, easy to understand, and with them you'll have access to nearly limitless options. We've seen that most times we're better priced than our competition on the same high-quality apparel choices that the other guys offer. Plus Nike and Under Armour choices that the other guys can't get. And we offer a huge brand selection from Yeti, North Face, and Carhartt too. This is Brian Burkhart. For team, group, or corporate custom outfitting and promotional products, it's going to be really hard to beat our prices, selection, and ease of buying for any size budget and every size company. And that's why we always say,
you can't beat Burkhart.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 48-ounce selected varieties Stone Ridge ice cream, 2 for $7. 80% lean ground beef, $4.49 per pound. Fresh red seedless grapes, $1.99 per pound. 46-ounce selected varieties Tropicana lemonades or punches, 2 for $5.
Safe.
What?
It's a long fly ball.
Every time I scan, what is happening?
A leaping grab at the wall.
Okay, fine, I'll play. Get a load of this watermelon. And here's the pitch.
Please wait for assistance.
Win Century Foods Ultimate Fan Experiences at Milwaukee baseball games. Throw out the first pitch, hold the ribbon for the Johnsonville Famous Sausage Race, or watch batting practice from the field.
Ooh, what do I do?
Complete the entry form in Century's weekly ad and return to the store.
Ah, no, what happened here?
Oh, self-checkout couldn't handle my heater. Here, I filled out my entry form. Gotta go. Have a great day.
I'll go get the mop.
Enter by August 5th.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
thank you to not just Jesse Nelson, but Hunter Vaughn, who is the originator of the blind resumes, at least on this program. I thought that was really interesting. I thought it led to some intriguing insights. Jesse, since you put that together, what was your takeaway?
Well, the way that I viewed C.J. Stroud and Justin Herbert after their performances in the postseason last year is that it's like put up or shut up time, but they are clearly not elevating to the level that they came into the league expected to play at. Mm-hmm. And for Jordan Love's resume to be as similar as it is to both of those guys, it's a different trajectory of how he's gotten to that point, but I think that shows me that this year is really the put up or shut up year, the way that I think a lot of us viewed Justin Herbert last year, and the way that C.J. Stroud is similarly going into this season after that poor performance against the Patriots in the divisional round. I look at C.J. Stroud, and this is part of the conversation on Unsportsmanlike this week. Michelle Smallman has been kind of a C.J. Stroud hater. This team is winning in spite of him. Justin Herbert with the Chargers, I've been critical that it doesn't matter what they do in the regular season. When they get to the postseason, he's not winning. He's performing really poorly in the postseason. And for Jordan Love to be so similar in his resume compared to those guys makes me think he's closer to being one of them, who's clearly not one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, than he is to being Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, any of those guys.
Jason, when is the junction point here where there's a big bonus due or hit Jordan's cap pops and they have to kind of figure out if they're going to redo his deal or if they're going to kick the can down? When is that? Because as Jesse was just talking there, I was looking at it, and obviously Herbert got paid. I think he's a little bit less than where Jordan's at. But it does make me think, because Stroud, I don't believe Houston, I don't know if they'll pick up the fifth-year option, probably. But I don't envision them saying we're going to reset the market. Jordan Love is either going to reset the market or the Packers will look at something different. Like it's either going to be Jordan's really good and we want him for another 5 or 6 years. This is what we need to do. Or it's going to be, what do we do with Jordan?
Jordan Love is in the third year of the 4-year, $220 million extension. Now he had so it's a little. I know this doesn't make sense, but he had a year essentially remaining, so he is signed through 2028. But this is the third year where his cap number will have gone from being $20 million, $20.75 million in 2024. His cap number last year was $29.7 million. His cap number this year, as of right now anyway, is $36.1 million, which is about 12% of the cap. His cap number for 2027, so this is a junction point, to use your phrase, is $42.5 million.
Okay.
And then his cap number for 2028, which he will not play that year under the existing deal, his base salary for 2028 is $43.9 million, and his cap hit is $74.2 million. So that will not occur. So this is the way Spotrac views it. There is what they like to call a potential out after this season, where he would have $71 million in dead cap, which is still a lot of dead cap, obviously. And I don't see them
it's not as much as it used to be.
Right.
Exactly. But let's just say he has a year very similar to last year. And we are the 7th seed and we get knocked out again. And Jordan Love's representation goes and says, hey, man, let's get a new deal. I need to get 60. Well, it's going to probably end up being mid-60s. Dak Prescott just got a new deal at 60. Jordan will try to pass that. What are you saying? What are you doing?
That seems like a really tough decision, right? Because much like we said with the head coach, that it's a bad argument to say, well, who are we going to get that's better? Do we apply that to the quarterback position too then? Because, look, I maintain that Jordan Love is a quarterback that, as of right now, you can win with, not because of. Right? And the Seattle Seahawks just won. Right? The Seahawks just won a Super Bowl with a quarterback they could win with, not because of. They didn't win the Super Bowl because of Sam Darnold. They certainly won the NFC Championship game because of him.
Yeah, but he's making $40 million, not $55.
Right, exactly. And so here's the problem with where they're at financially with him is that when it comes time to pay the piper again, you're not going to get him to come back on a reduced or on the same price tag, right? Like nobody does that.
Nope.
So I think Jesse's right. I mean, I think this is a pivotal, and I know no blank, but I think this is an incredibly pivotal year for him.
So what does he need to do? What do you need to see from him?
I need to see him put this team on his back in some games. And I came across, it's funny when, and I know Instagram just had this thing where they were found to be addictive. I can see exactly what it is because you watch a video on there and then automatically another one pops up that you didn't request to watch, that you don't necessarily even follow the account. But then I was watching something and it was a Rodgers highlight series that was the next video that popped up.
Wow plays, if you will.
Some might say. There were a hell of a lot of games where that guy made some really, I understand, not enough in the playoffs. For those that are about to jump on me for that in the YouTube comments. Not enough in the playoffs. But there were a hell of a lot of games that they won because of him. And I think there need to be some of those games this year from Jordan Love. I don't think that's an unreasonable request. And again, I think he's capable of that. I want to see it more frequently because I understand the price tag is now the cost of doing business at the quarterback position. But ask the Miami Dolphins how they feel about the cost of doing business at the quarterback position with the guy that was in their draft in 2020. They are happy to eat $100 million or whatever of dead cap money to get him off their team, and they'd rather play Malik Willis.
10-7, losing the first round. What are you doing?
At quarterback or at head coach or at GM?
No, with Jordan Love. Matt LaFleur's going to be here. They paid him. Unless things go completely off the rails, he's going to be here. Jordan Love, 10-7, get beat again in the first round. He has a very similar season, misses a game or two, 24 touchdowns, 23 whatever it is. And this is now you're starting to think this is who he's going to be. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm assuming the cap's going to go up. So going from a $36 million cap hit to a $42 million cap hit, I'm probably going to say I'm going to keep him for one more year and hope that we can get it done with Micah in his third season on our team. And after we paid Tucker Kraft the King's ransom, because he's one of the best tight ends in the league, and we paid Christian Watson, and those guys will have lower cap numbers in the first year of their new deals, because that's how they structure them. So you can take on Jordan Love at $42 million, because those two guys are not going to get a ton of money. They'll get a ton of money up front, but they won't cost a lot cap-wise up front early. I'm running it back with them thinking, all right, he's going to have Tucker Kraft again. He's going to have Christian Watson again. Matthew Golden's in his third year. We're going to really elevate. He's going to elevate if it doesn't happen this season. But
okay,
I feel a hell of a lot better if he elevates this season than I would if I have to go into next 2027 hoping, oh, now he's going to elevate. At what point does a player no longer elevate? That's the question, especially at that position.
There is no correct answer on that, but I usually look at it when you're in year 4 and 5 as a starter. That is about that's primo stuff for almost every NFL player.
Yeah,
quarterbacks are different because the mind is more important there than at some other positions. But when you're a starter, it can be year 7 or 8. when you're in your 4th and 5th year as a starter, that is where you should have all of your physical capabilities still in play, and you should have all of the mental capacity to really function at the highest that you possibly can.
Let's play some trivia. Presented by Vortex Golf, Iron Jock, and Cousin Subs. Jesse, what's today's category, and what caller would you like?
With our friend Mel Kiper Jr. scheduled to appear about 20 minutes from now.
Yeah, do pumpkins.
Mel
Different
Kiper
pumpkins.
Trivia. Kiper Questions is today's trivia category about the legendary ESPN NFL Draft expert. Some common knowledge questions about Mel Kiper.
The Packers have the 52nd overall pick, Jesse. What caller would you like?
Caller 10, since we've been talking a lot about Jordan Love, would be great.
Caller 10 right now,
Caller
844.
10. We're giving away 3 great things. You're going to urinate on the streamers
Caller
today,
18. Caller 18 for Old T, so we get the streamers involved. Caller 18. Happy?
No, I'm not, but you do you.
You don't compromise much, do you?
What are you talking about? I'm the king of compromise, baby.
The king of compromise and the king of NFL draft analysis will be on the show together at 11:15. Right now, we're going to play trivia. Caller 18 now, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 18 right now for Wilde Tausch trivia plays next, so stick around.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Wisconsin, let's keep this simple. If you've been patiently waiting for Yuengling to finally make its way here, thanks for hanging in there. If you believe a beer tastes even better after shoveling the driveway, mowing the lawn, or putting in an honest day's work, well, you're our kind of people. Wisconsin, it's finally here. Yuengling, oldest brewery in America, family owned and operated for 6 generations, and now officially in Wisconsin. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. DJ Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, ride a bike during the nation's largest bike sale. That's right, the Wheel and Sprocket Bike Expo sale is back. And so is our trade-in, trade-up program, which means you can trade in your old bike for a gift card to use towards your new bike.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Electric bikes, road bikes, cargo bikes, mountain bikes, kid bikes, hybrid bikes. Over 2,000 brand new and used bikes on sale, along with thousands of accessories, from helmets and lights to car racks and more.
Find it, buy it, ride it. Find it, buy it, ride it.
Find a bike, buy a bike, trade in your old bike for a gift card towards a new bike. Friday noon to 8, Saturday 10 to 8, and Sunday 11 to 5 at the State Fair Park inside the Expo Center. Visit bikeexposale.com for details. Admission is free.
Life is short. We'll see you at the Bike Expo.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Law Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
This is Coach Greg Gard. I've lived my whole life in Wisconsin, and I know what people here value: hard work, honesty, and looking out for one another. That's exactly how Bank CMG approaches banking. They combine hometown values with modern tools to help people make confident financial decisions. When you want a bank that understands where you're coming from, Bank CMG makes sense. Visit bankcmg.com or stop by your local branch. Let's get to work.
You know, I mean, your home is about as personal as it gets, right?
We want to build a relationship with homeowners, not only educating them, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us.
Yeah, the interview goes both ways. Mm-hmm. Getting to know people while also serving them. It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
Besides that, it's just the right thing to do. See how Big Fish Contracting is renovating homes and redeeming an industry at bigfishcontracting.com.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Time now for trivia presented by Cousin Subs, Iron Jock, and Vortex Golf.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is presented by Iron Jock. No stink, just performance. And proudly Wisconsin built. Shop now at ironjock.com. By Cousin Subs. Try the new Protein Power Plays. For subs loaded with protein and made with fresh ingredients you love. All for just $7.99. And by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
Let's welcome in our contestant, and he is a first-time contestant. It is Danny on the south side. Danny, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Very well, thank you. How are you guys?
Great. Hey,
Super.
are you single and in your 50s? Are you looking for love at any point?
Nelly! No, I'm almost 70, and I've been married for 43 years.
Oh, well done.
That's a hell of a run.
Love
That's
it.
a hell of a run.
That ship has sailed, I guess.
Bad news for Tausch's friend. It's
Indeed.
tough out there.
Well, Danny, you've been lucky in love. Let's see if you're lucky in trivia. The questions are about Mel Kiper. Question number one is this. A popular topic of conversation during Mel Kiper Jr.'s appearances on various shows, the ESPN NFL Draft expert typically eats what for breakfast almost every day for 8 or 9 months of the year? Is it pumpkin pie, a chicken sandwich, or old pages of his draft guides?
Well, a smart guess would be a chicken sandwich.
That would be a smart guess. Unfortunately,
pumpkin.
It would be the wrong guess. He is a pumpkin
I don't
pie
like pumpkin pie, so.
aficionado. Well,
I'm not much of a pumpkin pie guy either.
More of
Also one.
I'm more of a pecan pie guy.
And that is officially 4 out of 5 first questions wrong this week. We were one
We
away.
had to set a record this week.
That's a record by
first
far.
questions wrong.
May never be shattered.
I'm happy to continue the trend.
Yeah, good work. Well done. Danny, question 2 is this. Mel Kiper Jr. has been a lifelong native living near which major U.S. city? Is it Atlanta, Baltimore, or Chicago?
Educated guess, Baltimore.
You bet.
Let's go.
Woo-hoo.
All right, now you're 1 out of 2. Let's see if you go 2 for 3 in your debut, Danny. Question 3 is this. In which year did Mel Kiper Jr. officially make his debut as an ESPN NFL Draft analyst? Was it 1984, 1990, or 1996?
Wow. I'm going to say 84.
The year after that big quarterback class, you are correct. Danny, well done. You got 2 out of 3, which means you got 3 of the possible 4 entries. You and one other contestant from this week managed to do that. So you will have a chance to win our prize pack presented by Cousin Subs, Iron Jock, and Vortex Golf. We're going to do that drawing a little bit after we get done with our conversation with Mel, as he is scheduled to appear at 11:15. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, guys. Love your show. Take care. Have a great weekend.
That was fun. We appreciate Danny playing. We appreciate him being expeditious, and it's time to get to the 11 o'clock hour so we can get to Mel Kiper. That starts in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Look around your office. Does it look like 1994 called and wants its lobby back?
Most brands just show up, often amongst outdated decor.
At Captivate Exhibits, ordinary space is the enemy. Beige walls, faded graphics, that motivational poster no one reads.
That's not culture, that's camouflage.
Captivate designs and build spaces that don't whisper, they speak. They spark conversations. People lean in.
Stop blending in and start captivating today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Spring Black Friday is on at the Home Depot. Save on grills and patio sets that will be sure to bring your hosting game up a notch. Fire up your feast with help from the Home Depot and save on grills. Like the Next Grill 4-burner propane gas grill was $249, now in special buy for $199. Or give everyone the best seat in the yard with the Hampton Bay Mayfield Park 4-piece conversation set for only $399. Save on grills and patio sets with low prices guaranteed during Spring Black Friday only at the Home Depot. Now through April 22nd, while supplies last. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now. As we get ready for Mel Kiper to join us, I'm always fascinated. I really am by when we get into these discussions and certain folks who have their own certain biases feel one way, and other people who have other biases feel another way. Like arguing that we value Justin Herbert more than we value Jordan Love, for example. Like, I understand that Herbert gets more love, no pun intended, nationally. You saw the 3 blind resumes. Put whatever names you want to put on them. All 3 of those guys clearly need to elevate their games for their teams in 2026. All 3 of those players at the most important position in the game All three of those teams need more from them. Otherwise, all three of those teams would have already made a Super Bowl with them at quarterback. So the game has changed, too. 25 interceptions for Stroud, 23 interceptions for Herbert, and 28 interceptions for Love. All those are fewer interceptions than Brett Favre once threw in a single season, right? The way offenses are designed now, Tausch, you would agree that nobody throws as many interceptions as quarterbacks used to throw. It's a different game that way. We have different levels of what we expect now from quarterbacks. And when you throw 15 picks in a season, that's way too high, right? That's what we were criticizing Darnold for. So all those guys need to elevate their games. The idea that Aaron Rodgers had so many better players to work with than Jordan Love, that's one of the arguments I've gotten. Okay. I don't know. I look at the wide receivers that he had, and there were some years where they counted on him elevating the wide receivers. Like, there were people that wanted to get rid of Devontae Adams in favor of Jeff Janis once upon a time. Devontae Adams turned into a great player, and he's been a very good player without Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know how much of that is Devontae Adams and how much of it is Jordan Love. I will say this. The point that we made, and Jim saying we're comparing Tua and Jordan Love. No, but both teams paid their guys roughly the same amount to be the guy. Has Jordan Love been far better for the Packers than Tua was for the Dolphins? Absolutely. But all those guys got paid.
I hope you answer that yes.
Right.
I know we gotta get
no blank. But at the same time, has he been good enough? The results would say no.
Well, the answer, and that's not that blind taste test there, or blind whatever you want to call it. Justin Herbert and Jordan Love are about in the same boat. And you can put Stroud in there, too. Those numbers are all eerily similar, and there's a little discrepancy. But those three guys, and I'm sure Jesse could have found another guy to put in there. Jordan Love, in my opinion, has the most potential to continue to grow in his upside. These guys are all young players yet. There is time, but as we sit here now, I don't want to even hear the comparisons with Rodgers at the same point. Rodgers is way ahead of where Jordan Love is. Like those are just Rodgers got a Super Bowl championship in those 3 years. Like those are the facts, and you don't have to like it, but that's the reality. And did Aaron have better wideouts? If you look at draft capital, no.
Right.
You know, Jordy Nelson's a stud now, Greg Jennings, but those guys developed with him. That's what Old Boy needs to do with this group. And they got to be better, no doubt. And anybody that wants to argue that is going to say, they're going to be the same people that say, why didn't we win a championship? Because right now we're a good, not great team. We have a good quarterback with some good pieces. Nobody's slapping them on a Sporting News cover of that crew. It's just not. That's not where they're at. Hopefully they can get there.
Yeah, we'll see. I did get that from someone, too. There's nobody here that's... The Sporting News was the one that did it with you guys. I always like that cover. The one that gets all the love is the Sports Illustrated one with all the skill position guys. Bottom line, this is a big year. I think we can all agree on that. Just like we can all agree that we had a great time at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. The next time we're going, it's a Monday. It is not a Wednesday. So we'll see how the crowd is when we don't have the 50% off 55 and older lunches.
That'll put a little pressure on. But Thursdays in April from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. are your chance to win a grand prize, $2,000 in free slot play. 200 tier credits while playing at your favorite slot machine to activate the Prospector's Plunge. Ooh, I got to try that. Tournament game at the end of the tournament. Free play prizes will be automatically paid out to Unity members that finish in the top 15. Free plays prize amounts vary depending on the placement. Play, dine, and shop. Enjoy live shows and the sports book. Hopefully one of my Masters guys will hit at my whatever we call that now, this weekend's golf outing. Again, head on down to I-90 in Rockford, Illinois.
I will not be glued to this weekend's golf outing like some will be, but I will be glued to Mel Kiper Jr.'s insights. Even though the Packers don't have a first-round pick, Can't wait to hear what Mel has to say. He's scheduled to appear next, so stick around. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. All the biggest voices, all in one place. The Yuengling Guest Hotline. Exclusive insight from Hall of Famers, All-Stars, and Game Changers, all on the Yuengling Guest Hotline.
He is Adam Schefter. But it's hard to argue with what he's doing. He's playing at an elite level right now.
The Yuengling Guest Hotline on ESPN Wisconsin.
They're winning games. He's playing great football. I think every time he does that, he wins over more and more people.
Yuengling, now officially in Wisconsin. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Need a quick, delicious way to fuel your day? Try one of our new protein power plays from Cousin Subs. Power ham, power turkey, power club, power tuna. 4 craveable 5-inch subs on freshly baked Italian bread. Packed with protein, up to 33 grams. All for just $7.99 for a limited time. It's the flavor you love with the fuel you need. Grab a protein power play in store, online, or on the Cousin Subs app today. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
Mark Tauscher here, and if you know me, you know I love Wisconsin. That's why I'm a UW Credit Union member. Their team's been all about Wisconsin since 1931, and they love making banking easy for members. Whether it's with their convenient mobile app or with the great perks like early payday to get you paid sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and become a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCAA. Terms and conditions apply.
Win big with Quick Trip's Red Zone Midwest Tour. You could drive away in a 2026 Chevrolet Traverse Z71. Want in? Stop into Quick Trip. Purchase any qualifying fried chicken or Coca-Cola product with Quick Rewards and you're automatically entered. Want to boost your odds? Grab both in the same stop and you'll score 5 bonus entries. Full details at quicktrip.com/red tour. Delicious chicken, ice cold Coca-Cola, and one incredible ride. Quick Trip's Red Zone Midwest Tour.
The Run for the Roses is coming to St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Join us Saturday, May 2nd for the Kentucky Derby Day in partnership with Woodford Reserve. Watch the race live, sip on specialty cocktails including the classic mint julep, and dress to impress. Best hat and best dress contests are on the card. Admission is free or you can upgrade to VIP for $75 for exclusive food stations and 2 complimentary cocktails. Visit stkatearts.com to RSVP or grab your tickets at stkatearts.com.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Turn those hoop dreams into reality with Precision Sports, your one-stop shop in southeastern Wisconsin for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator basketball hoop systems, installation of new or old hoops, and completely customizable painted court lines. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Joining us now on the Yuengling Guest Hotline. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America and now officially in Wisconsin. Family owned and operated for 6 generations. DJ Yingling and Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly. This is going to be, and I don't even know if we're going to talk about, pumpkin pie and whatever else. This is going to be the weirdest time that we've ever talked to Mel Kiper. This is going to be the strangest one because the Packers don't have a first-round pick. He's been nice enough to come on this show basically every year, get us ready for the draft, and I don't even know what the hell to ask him. Can't wait to get his insights into the second-round talents in this year's draft because that's when the Packers are picking. It is Mel Kiper on Wilde Tausch. Mel, how are you, my friend?
I am good. It's closing in, less than 2 weeks away. So it's like I say, time's a ticking. You got a mock draft coming out next week. Rankings board's got to be finished by the following week. So it's crunch time, basically, to get this all finished.
So it is very strange for us, and we were talking earlier this week, Tausch and I were, about the fact that the draft kind of crept up on us. Not because, it was in Green Bay. They drafted a wide receiver. It was everything that this year's draft isn't for Packers fans after Gutey traded this year's and next year's first-round picks to Dallas in the Micah Parsons trade. How do you view where the Packers are as you are getting ready with your big board and everything else, and you're thinking about their team and their needs and their strategy?
Just stay healthy. That's all I think about. I was thinking about the Packers. We were talking the other day about different teams and the football and injuries, and just if you can get some luck on the injury front, you have a chance to go as far as anybody goes. That's what these teams all are really built for going into the year, and then you see it just all come apart because of injuries, particularly offensive line with some teams. But you lose like a Parsons, a great player. You can't have that, and that's what football unfortunately is about injury. That's why I always tell everybody, don't get excited. I don't get excited about 8 games in, 12 games in. I only get excited when the Super Bowl's over and we won it. That's when I get excited. I don't celebrate any time during the year because the next week they play that game and things could happen, and all of a sudden your team's completely different than it was, and all of a sudden, what you hoped you would achieve is not going to happen anymore. So I look at these teams. If on paper they're as good as anybody on paper, but they got to have their guys out there and they got to be healthy.
Mel, when we get ready for a draft like this, it is strange for us. It hasn't been since 1986, which you were just a young buck starting out as what you would become when it comes to the NFL draft. But that was the last time the Packers went into a draft without a first-round pick. There have been years where they didn't end up taking someone in the first round because they traded back. But give us the lowdown on the second-round talents. What do you see on your board when you pair that up with the Packers' needs at corner, on the offensive line, on the defensive line, running back? How do you kind of view that second-round board as the Packers' first pick is scheduled to be at 52?
That's a good one because I've been trying to figure that out with the second-round mock draft. I do a round 1 and a round 2, and you look at where we are right now at corner. Couple guys, Avion Terrell, you thought would be maybe a 1. It looks like he's going to be a 2. D'Angelo Pons, he'd be a 1 if it wasn't for size, but he ran 4.31. He had a great career both at JMU and Indiana. D'Angelo Pons, second-round type of guy. So I think Malik Muhammad, if he could be a little more consistent coming out of Texas, be a heck of a player. Does Brandon Cisse from South Carolina drop into the second? Does a Chris Johnson from San Diego State drop into the second? Colton Hood, Tennessee. There's only 2 lock first-round corners. That's McCoy and Delane. After that, there's going to be another couple going. Who are they going to be? Could be Hood, could be Cisse, could be Johnson. I don't think Terrell. I think he's more of a 2, as I said. So if you can get a Terrell or a Pond, somebody like that, to slide down, you could be in good shape. Running back-wise, does Jadarian Price get into the mid-second, late second? Does that happen with Price coming out of Notre Dame? Mike Washington Jr. from Arkansas is red hot right now. And then there's a drop-off into a bunch of 3rd, 4th, 5th-round running backs. So there's really only going to be Love, Price in the second, Washington probably in the 3rd, and then after that, Emmett Johnson, Nebraska, you got Katron Allen, you got Jonah Coleman, but they're all maybe 4th-rounders. So I bet you going into day 3, we've only had 3 running backs taken, and that's it, maybe 4, but I think that's stretching it. It would be Love, Price, and probably Washington, and that's it.
So, Mel, obviously I love talking offensive line. How do you see this class, and then is there somebody, especially on the interior, a center or guards, that Green Bay could be somebody that could fall, although we've seen lately everybody is really appreciating the O-line. You're seeing more and more first-round picks getting taken even on interior guys.
Yeah, that's a good way. I think the guys that I think you would look at there that have that kind of versatility to do both. I think Trey Zune III was a left tackle at Texas A&M, projecting him to guard center. So he's probably a third-round type of guy. But if you're looking second round right now in terms of an interior offensive lineman, it has some. Sam Heck from Kansas State would be one. I'm a big, as far as centers go, Logan Jones from Iowa. Kirk Ferentz coaches those guys up. We know that's his forte is the O-line. Loves this kid. Brian Parker II from Duke's an interesting guy. Probably third, fourth round. Played tackle, can be guard center as well. A guy I like as a pure guard. I know Iwane from Penn State's going to go in the first, and everybody talks about Basantis and Keelan Rutledge from Georgia Tech. I like Emmanuel Pregnon from Oregon. I mean, that kid gets after it. I mean, he is a tough, aggressive, hard-nosed football player who just roots you out of there. Good player. I like him a lot. Jennings Dunker from Iowa, another Iowa Hawkeye. And guess what? You can't go wrong. Remember Marshall Yanda, third-round pick to the Baltimore Ravens? Jennings Dunker is a very similar guy. Tackle, probably be a tackle guard. Maybe it depends if he's overmatched a tackle, can move inside the guard. Jennings Dunker from Iowa in the second round, at worst the early third round, is one of those guys that's going to play a long time in the league. And he comes in, people aren't going to go crazy, say, well, he's a first. I was even thinking maybe first round when I watched him play this year at Iowa. I said, nah, he's going to get into the second. Jennings Dunker, just because of it's Iowa, it's Kirk Ferentz, and this kid loves to play the game, and he has that ability to be a tackle or right tackle or guard. That's the kind of kid in the second or even third round. If you get him, you know you're going to have a guy who's going to start and play a lot of years in the NFL.
Mel, how are talent evaluators taking in the portal, and how many guys are going to different places? And I know I talked to a couple folks last year that the money component, you typically don't have to worry about that. In the old days, you'd have to worry about it when you'd give guys second contracts. How much of that goes into the evaluation process when they're taking a look at these guys?
Well, I asked that question to some people. I think they're trying to get into, who really loves the game, who has the money already. Now you've got guys that have already secured, from a financial standpoint, a pretty good chunk of money. So, I mean, just by that, there was talk about, Ty Simpson, if he'd have moved on from Alabama, could have got maybe $6 million. You're talking about a lot of money being paid to these players now, and some of them are even just moving on. Like Ty moved on to the NFL, could have gotten a lot of money to go 3 different places. That the rumor mill has it. So at the end of the day, I think you have to look at how much coming into the league. It gets back to, and Mark knows this. It's that who loves this game and who's playing the game because they can, who plays the game because they just want to and they love it. These guys are all good enough to play the game, but when you get to the NFL, that's not enough. And you can get by in college with that, no problem. But in the NFL, it still gets back to trying to figure out that intangible part of it. And with the NIL, it's even more important now because these guys come into the league. They think they're already professionals. They're getting paid. They're doing commercials. They're doing everything. And they come into the league. They just come in with a chip. Now they come in as they're already stars. They're already making money. Everybody wanted me. Then they realize that the guys they were beating in college aren't. This is the NFL. So I think just the mindset of the player you're trying to figure out even more so now than you were before.
Before we get to our Badgers and getting the evaluation from you on that, obviously Green Bay lost Malik Willis. The typical way that Green Bay likes doing it, finding a younger player that you can develop. Is there somebody 5th, 6th, 7th round from the quarterback spot that you think this would be worth taking a flyer on if you're Green Bay?
Well, the guys that could drop down. Where's Cole Payton from North Dakota State going to go? He's a lefty. He's a great athlete. He could be used in packages because he's a heck of a runner, and he's a tough kid. You talk about hard-nosed football player Cole Payton. This was a one-year starter, so you can get him involved with his running skills and maybe developing. He's got that long delivery, but he was accurate. This kid completed a high percentage of those passes and did a heck of a job in his 1 year as a starter at North Dakota State. A guy like Luke Altmaier, he goes from Ole Miss to Illinois, does a good job, but he doesn't have these drawing comparisons to Brock Purdy, who was Mr. Irrelevant. Where does Luke Altmaier fall? He's going to be on day 3 somewhere there. Cade Klubnik from Clemson had a high grade going into the year and fell all the way into day 3. So I'm thinking day 3 guys will be Klubnik from Clemson, Altmaier from Illinois, and like I said, where does Cole Payton fall? I think he could go as high as the 4th round, but if he gets into the 5th, 6th round, you're going to get something out of him because athletically, with his speed, his size 6'3", 230, he can run. He's super athletic. athletic. He's incredibly tough. He can be, and people said Taysom Hill. You can utilize him kind of like that. And does he develop into enough of a passer? He's got that long delivery, but good arm strength. I think he's an interesting guy there. Like I said, Altmaier, if you're looking for maybe that Brock Purdy type, that would be Altmaier from Illinois.
All right, and now we get to Wisconsin. Mason Reiger, you got Riley Mahlman, Darrell Peterson. Any intel, any info that you have on anybody from Wisconsin that our fans would love to hear about?
Reiger's the one. Mason's got a chance. I mean, when you can play at that level and you can get after the quarterback and you do the job after the season was over, you do everything the right way, I think he's the kind of kid you get into the fourth-round area there. We're going to be talking a lot, I think, about him early day 3. Mason Reiger can play, and he's going to have a spot on rosters. We've seen, guys, develop. You saw, you go back and you look at what we have in the NFL right now. There, you can find, and so way you get them, you can find some edge rushers slip through the cracks. They just do. And that's been the case. And Wisconsin has that way of, even Watt, when Watt came out, he was a late first-round pick to the Steelers. He didn't go in the top 20, top 15. So these guys tend to drop, and we see it. We've seen day 3 produce. Wisconsin has, and other schools have produced some day 3 edge rushers. I think Reiger can be another one of those guys somewhere, like saying, that 4th, 5th round area that will be a guy can maybe get you, upwards of 8-10 sacks a year if he's in the right spot.
Speaking with NFL Draft GOAT, and no, I'm not going to call him Adam Schefter like maybe some other people may have today, or vice versa. Mel Kiper, who, by the way, Mel, I just want to make sure that you understand how grateful we are that you answered Jesse's call and you joined us after having your hard-earned reputation sullied and besmirched in the not-so-distant past about your evaluation of Tausch and whether he was in your guide or not.
We retracted and gave complete credit after the fact.
But some people are grudge holders, and luckily for us, Mel is not. So thank you, Mel, for that.
Hey, I'm so battered and bruised after 50 years in this business. Nothing I said today, nothing's going to ever bother me again. And everything that's been said, done over the last 50 years has been pretty amazing. So I've heard and seen it all, guys.
Well, you definitely know more than my postman. So I have a couple more questions for you.
That's debatable.
Well, you don't know my postman. So first of all, you mentioned Pons, and Tausch and I, obviously, as Big Ten guys, and we saw what he did. He plays for the national champs, but he is not a big dude. So how do you project him in the NFL? Because there is no question that corner is a need. We would love to see him in Green Bay. But as we learned from Ron Wolf many years ago, taking undersized corners is not something the Packers generally want to do. How do you see him playing out in the NFL? And if the Packers took him, would you think that was a smart move at 52 if he's there?
He's one of those guys that you just say, he's just a baller. I mean, he's going to play above and beyond what he is, like I say, from a size standpoint. He's got great instincts and awareness. You saw him get the pick 6 against Dante Moore in the Oregon game right off the bat, flipped the script right on them immediately, put him behind 7-0 before he could blink. So I think he was at JMU doing the exact same thing. And I said all along, I hope JMU gets some residuals for what Indiana did, because without those JMU kids, Indiana wouldn't be where they are. And Pons was one of those guys. Surratt was another, and Fisher. I go on and on and on with those JMU kids. That were Kalen Black, running back. I mean, that list, I mean, there was 14 of them, 7 left. They had 7 more this year. So at the end of the day, now they're gone. Now this will be the first year for Sig. Let's see what Sig does without the JMU help, right? But to the Pons point, no. In the second round, with a kid that has his ball skills, his toughness, ran 4.31. He's just a slot corner. These guys are valuable guys. So to me, you got to be physical, and he is. So I look at him as a guy second round. I think if people were thinking third round before he ran that 4.31. That 4.31 put him solidly in round 2.
And then the other thing I'm wondering is, obviously you're busy every year getting your board ready and looking at all of that year's prospects. But I went back because the reason the Packers don't have a first-round pick this year or next year is because they acquired Micah Parsons, who in the 2021 draft, despite opting out during the COVID season, was your highest rated defensive player on your board, if I'm remembering correctly. What do you make of him and what he has become? And when you look at it from the draft perspective, what the Packers gave up to get him, was that capital well spent because of the kind of player he's become.
Yeah, great player. Remember, he had not a ton of sacks because he was playing inside, off ball, and he wasn't on the edge. And he had the forced fumbles, and we're trying to compare him to Arvell Reese is being compared to Micah Parsons because he didn't have that many opportunities to get after the quarterback. And, of course, he had the COVID year, which was complicated everything in terms of the evaluation. But for Micah, to be what he is off the edge and be that dominator and that fear factor player that you got to have, making that move made perfect sense. And you could see what was happening before the injury. So to me, Baltimore was going to do the same thing with Max Crosby for the exact same reason. Of course, that trade didn't happen because of the injury with the knee situation with Max, but now Hendrickson's a Raven. So everybody wants those kind of guys. They're closers, they're finishers, and that's what you have to have. And he's elite. He's one of the best in the business. So what you thought he would be, he has been. Just again, unfortunately, Mark knows what better than anyone. Football is a game of injuries, and that happens. So, would you say it was a good move? Yeah, a great move to get a player like that. But again, with all these teams, your core group of stars have to stay healthy, and if they don't, you see what happens. We got one here with Lamar. We got a quarterback here. When he's healthy, when he's not, you see that. So again, I don't care. There's a certain number of fear factor players in the league on both sides of the ball. There's not 75 of them. So when you have that group of stars, superstars, and he's one of those, and they're not on the field, then you pay the price, and you saw exactly that happen with Green Bay this year.
All right, two more things so you can get back to your board. One, Tausch asked you about the Wisconsin players, and I have to be honest, in all the years you've joined us, even when you've been having your reputation besmirched, it feels like there's a hell of a lot of Wisconsin players to talk about, and in the last few years, not nearly as many. Is Wisconsin viewed differently, or are their players viewed differently now in the Fickle era vis-a-vis what they were, Alvarez, Bielema, Paul Christ? It just felt like our alma mater was churning out more true blue NFL prospects than we have seen in the last several years.
Well, that's why you see the record the way it is. The record and it leads to the prospects. And you can see when the record, because what Parcells, you are who your record says you are, right? And this is the big year for Fickle and company. When you come in there, and Jim Leonard was the guy, and they went with Fickle instead of Jim. And we know what Jim is. He's a legend in Wisconsin for obvious reasons. Great player, great coach. And you had it. And you had a mode of operation there. And at Camp Randall in Madison, there's a way to win football games. There's a way to recruit those players that can win those football games in Madison for the Wisconsin Badger program. And when you think, I always worry when I hear people, I'm going to take it to another level. Well, good luck. And the bottom line is, in this era, it's about money anyway. If you get the right players, but you have to have you have to have an identity. And I think that's what they're searching for. What's the identity of this football team? We knew what it was at Wisconsin for all those years. For all those, you knew exactly what Wisconsin was. They had their identity. Now you're trying to go a different direction. What's that identity going to be? And this is obviously the schedule. I understand Notre Dame right out of the gate, but look at that schedule. If you can't win 8-9 games with that schedule, there's a problem. I mean, there's a problem. 8 or 9 games should be automatic with Wisconsin with that schedule that they have this year. So, and anything less than that, then obviously there's going to be issues. But if you talk about a hot seat, there's a reason why Luke Fickell's on the hot seat. You got to produce players. But like I always said, that's when they say Notre Dame when Lou Holtz said, when you produce first and second round prospects that means that you got a team that can compete for playoffs and national title. If you don't, then you're not even close to that. So you can always equate draft choices and how many you have with the success of that team. You just can't. So, yeah, sometimes teams overachieve and they get the most out of what they have. Even Indiana this year. Omar Cooper Jr. is going to be out. Surratt's going to go. These guys are, Indiana's producing. Ponds, they're producing players. You can get by once in a while with overachievers and this and that, but in this day and age with the NIL and all that, you got to have high draft choices. And if you don't, you can see what the record is. And like I say, you are who your record says you are, and for Wisconsin, that record better be this year, like I say, minimum of 8, and hopefully up around 9-10 wins.
All right, Mel, before we let you go, my one disappointment of the draft being in Green Bay last year, because everything else was easier, including I didn't have trouble parking at Lambeau, was that I didn't see you. I was hoping I would get to connect with you. It didn't happen. I am curious what you thought of your experience last year, if you had any disappointments. I don't know if you got to see Tausch and, get after him a little bit or at any point during the time that you were here. But now it's headed to Pittsburgh. It's one of the reasons why it snuck up on us, because we don't have all the build-up here in Green Bay. How was your experience in Green Bay when you were here last year?
One of the best experiences, I'm not just saying this as one, I said this, one of the best experiences we've had since the league took the draft out of New York was Green Bay. It was phenomenal. The people there are incredibly nice and welcoming. The weather cooperated. We had a great time. I came there. I lost my voice when we first got there. Did a Sports Center segment on Wednesday before the draft. Lost my voice completely. Went over. There was a restaurant right by the hotel. People couldn't be nicer. Looking at the pier. People out fishing on the pier. Looking out at the water. Beautiful. And it got better. Voice came back. Had a great 3 days. Everything was perfect. I couldn't be out. On a scale of 1 to 10, Green Bay was an 11. Okay, and I would go back there. In fact, everybody was excited. The Ravens were out there. Everybody went out there with my group, my son-in-law, his best friend. We were all out there, and they were all saying to my daughter, "You should have come." But we have a 1-year-old granddaughter, couldn't do it. So Green Bay is now a place. I think to see just be at Lambeau, it's a bucket list thing anyway. To be able to walk around Lambeau, see that was the first time I'd ever been out there. So that was phenomenal for me. I've been to Madison, never to Lambeau for whatever reason. It just never happened. So for me, an 11 or 15, and I hope Pittsburgh can come close to that because Green Bay and Nashville were the two best experiences for me in terms of outside of from when we left New York.
Well, Mel, every year it's a great experience for us. We try to bother you only once a year, unless you leave a voicemail after you've been besmirched. We appreciate you so much.
Well, I do have a problem with one thing. Oh. I do have a problem. I do have an issue with one thing, that you're only calling me one time out of the year. So that's a little disappointing that I'm only getting one call a year to come on this show.
I don't think you know what you just did, Mel. I don't think you know what you just did. You unleashed Jesse Nelson. We do it with Jeff Passan, and now I've got a hunch it's going to be done with you.
Well, Jesse's really a nice guy. Jesse does a great job, and because of that, because of Jesse, I just hope I get more than one call a year to come on this show. That's really on a scale of 1 to 10 right now. You guys are a -11 with just one call. So you got to try to at least get into that plus territory this year. A little plus territory. Let's work on that.
We want like 2, 4, a dozen, like once a week. What are we looking at here, Mel? We can talk.
I'll leave that up to you guys. Right. Anything more than one will do. How's that?
Mel, we are calling you after the draft is over, after you've decompressed, to tell us what we should think about the Packers draft class, whatever it ends up being. I still think Gutey's going to trade back and add some more picks because he's not going to have a 7-man draft class. Stand by your landline, baby, because we're calling you after the draft at some point.
Well,
You've asked for it.
It only takes me an hour to decompress, so that's it. And give me an hour, and I'm okay.
Because then you got to get your mock draft for 2027 out.
Not me. I don't get involved with that nonsense. I'll leave it up to Field Yates and my friends. I don't get involved with that stuff. But you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the draft, and go Packers.
All right. That is I can't the fact that he wants more of us makes me wonder if we should be worried about him, frankly, because that's awesome. We will be more than happy.
When he started evaluating Jesse, I started wondering about his evaluative skills, if I'm being honest.
It's a great guy. Does a great job.
We're going to need a pumpkin pie partner endorsing these appearances for Mel when he joins us.
No doubt about it. All right, that is the great Mel Kiper. He said a lot of really interesting stuff there. We will break it down and take a closer look at those things. He said we only give him one call, so I'm going to tell you right now, one call is all it takes if you need representation because you've been injured in an accident. One call, that's all. That's all Mel gets from us. That's all it takes for you with Grubel offices. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. Grubel offices. One call, that's all. We'll talk more about our conversation with Mel next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It all started with a small storefront and a big promise. Treat every customer just like family.
For decades, local families have trusted Sendix to provide the freshest food, the warmest smiles, and a place where community comes first. From generation to generation, we have grown together. Because Sendix is more than just a grocery store. It's home. Thank you for allowing us to serve you for the past 100 years. Here's to the next 100 years. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Rich Eisen.
I would like to welcome the Pittsburgh Pirates into the world of roster building to try and win baseball games. Congratulations to 19-year-old Connor Griffin, who is a beast, shortstop, a clear cornerstone of any baseball franchise. Normally, if you get a cornerstone of a baseball franchise in Pittsburgh, Yankee fans are like, can't wait. And we were that way about Skeens the last couple of years. He signed a 9-year extension that runs through the 2034 season. And basically what the Pirates did was buy out 3 years of free agency for this kid. And so what this means is the Pirates, it is the largest guarantee in Pirates history for any player in his rookie season. Congratulations, Pirates fans. This is what it looks like to have your team take money and spend it on a player who's very, very, very good and who could be potentially generationally great and keep him in Pittsburgh. And that's the way it's done.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
Michelob Ultra is brewed here. So is the grit that takes U.S. soccer players to the world's biggest stage. The excitement that fills a stadium before a single ball is kicked. The feeling when we rally together behind one team. From the pitch to the pour, Superior is brewed here. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the U.S. men's national soccer team. Enjoy responsibly. 2026 Anheuser-Busch, Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Up our Whoa Nelly time for bonus time with Mel Kiper, which I think was time well spent. Jesse is going to draw this week's trivia winner coming up here momentarily before we get to Feelgood Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints to wrap up the week. Tausch, we covered a lot of ground. I know that we talked about D'Angelo Pons after the national championship game or during the Big Ten season. I know you really like him too, and obviously Mel does. Yeah, if the Packers get him as their top pick since they don't have a first rounder, do you look past the fact that he is listed at 5'9", 170 and believe that he is exactly what they need at a position of glaring need?
I mean, obviously, we all want the prototype, 6'3", long, and is fast and closing speed. But when you're picking a little bit later, you sometimes have to look at the play on the field. And Mel said, and this is what just talking to different collegiate and NFL folks, is it's getting to be more and more difficult to figure out guys. Mm-hmm. You have guys that people aren't in the same spot for as long. You don't really get to know. Everything is more transactional, and with that, it gets tougher and tougher to figure out the most key aspect is that evaluative process of how much do they love football, how are they going to handle adversity, all because now you handle an adversity, it's go get more money somewhere else, and hopefully it'll be better. That's a tough way to judge players. So that is the key, and this young man has played good football. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's ideal to be 5'9", and because if you're 5'9" listed, you're probably 5'8". It's not ideal. And if you have a certain way and you don't believe that a 5'9" guy can play, there have been guys that have done it, but they're outliers. But some of the best things in life are outliers. Mm-hmm. That doesn't matter if it's sports or whatnot, but it's got to be right. Otherwise, you're sitting there and you go through a couple of days of minicamp and you can Ron Wolf it and say, well, we blanked that up.
Joey Jamison. Jesse, pull winners so we can get to Feelgood Friday, painted by Hellman Lindsay Paints.
And not a lot of chips in the cheese fry helmet this week. This is probably the fewest we've had in here in a long time. And it's with good reason. It was a little tougher this week with the first time ever being a drawing for Vortex Golf, Cousin Subs, and Iron Jock. Huge prize here, and it goes to a first-time contestant, Danny, on the south side of Milwaukee. Today's contestant, he knew his Mel Kiper at least enough to win trivia this week. Nicely done.
Except for the pumpkin pie part. We wrap up the show and wrap up the week with Feelgood Friday, painted by Hellman Lindsay Paints. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
You may know someone with multiple sclerosis, but you may not know what their day-to-day reality is really like. MS affects nearly 1 million people in the U.S., impacting far more than mobility. MS can affect vision, thinking, energy, and daily life, often in ways others don't see or understand. This MS Awareness Week, take a moment to learn more, share what you learn, and be a champion for people living with MS. Learn more at nationalmssociety.org/awareness.
One of the most important concepts in sports is don't drop the ball. Are you dropping the ball with your estate plan? When was it last updated? Have you even done one at all? It's ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde for Walney Legal Group. There's a lot at stake for you and your family when it comes to wills, trusts, probate, and elder planning. At Walney Legal, that's all they do. Tailored documents. No confusing legal jargon. Just thoughtful guidance. Do the blocking and tackling to protect your family. Start a conversation today at WalneyLegal.com.
Hey, it's Gary Ellison for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking to escape the cold or take a midday break? Get your game on at Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center, where it's always golf season. Play more than 2,000 courses, including over 50 right here in Wisconsin. And even that famous course where they hand out green jackets. Top tech simulators, great food, and the best Bloody Marys around. This is your year-round slice of summer. Bays start at just $35 an hour, Monday through Friday. Book your bay today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Feels like the world is a little broken lately. Maybe all we need is a fix. Most spirits are acidic. Fix Vodka is different. Fix Vodka is the world's first high-alkaline, acid-free vodka. Handcrafted with natural spring water and select grain. Clean, smooth, done right. Better water, better vodka. Get your local fix.
Fix Vodka.
Enjoy responsibly.
We have standards in Wisconsin. Cheese should squeak. Sports and tailgating go hand in hand with brats aplenty.
And beef is a delicacy where each bite makes you close your eyes for a second. For 50 years, Bunzel's has been hand-selecting the finest beef, making homemade specialty sausages, and crafting award-winning jerky right here at home. Because Wisconsin is still cattle country, quality isn't optional. It's expected. And after 5 decades, Bunzel's still delivers. Stop in today at 90th and Burleigh or at bunzels.com.
Heck yeah! It's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Stroh for Robert Hack Diamonds. 3 locations in the Milwaukee area, 2 in Brookfield, 1 in Greenfield, where I went, to buy my fiance's dream engagement ring. You don't become Wisconsin's most trusted and respected name in diamonds on accident. Robert Hack Diamonds has been in Wisconsin for almost 80 years, serving the Milwaukee area and all of the state with top-notch customer service and all the help you need along the way. I had no idea what I was doing. I knew I got the girl right, but I wanted to get the diamond right too, and Robert Hack Diamonds made sure that happened. If you're looking to take that next step just like I did, there's only one place to go. That's Robert Hack Diamonds, 3 locations in the Milwaukee area. Tell them I sent you, and whether you like me have no idea what you're doing or have a really good idea of what you're doing, go to the best in Wisconsin. You want that day to be special, and you want that ring to be special. They created my fiance's dream engagement ring, and they can create yours too. Visit them online, roberthackdiamonds.com, or in Greenfield or Brookfield. And just like me, you'll leave that store saying, heck yeah, because of Robert Hack Diamonds.
An open house like no other, our Siding Unlimited and Outdoor Living Unlimited open house brings in product reps so you can see, touch, feel the product, and talk to the manufacturer reps directly from Pella, Sunrise, Marvin Windows and Doors, LP SmartSide, CertainTeed Roofing, TimberTech Decking, County Pavers, and Screen Rooms. Everything is here for your next project at one place, one time on Saturday, April 25th from 9 to 1 p.m. Details at sidingunlimited.com and outdoorlivingunlimited.com.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Lindsay.
It is Feelgood Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. And we focused on a lot of great things over the years since Tausch invented this a decade ago. I don't usually make it about my children, but today's an important day for Maddie, our oldest. She had a hip injury that cut short her cross-country season during the 3rd race of the year. And it was a lot to deal with, and we are thankful for Dr. Michael Ryan at Prevea and Charlie DeClean, her physical therapist at Amplify Bellin at Titletown, and she is back, and she is going to be in her first track meet of the season today in Neenah, and we're really excited for her. The girls hear me talk all the time about overcoming adversity. I'm lucky to be around professional athletes for 30-plus years and learn a lot from them, and I've learned that you can only control what you can control, and the measure of a great player is how he or she overcomes adversity, and Maddie's done a great job of both of those things, working her way back. But Dr. Ryan, who I have already apologized for since he's inherited us from Doc McKenzie, has been really helpful, and so is Charlie, and it takes a village to get her back, and she's really excited to be back, and we're headed down to freeze our tails off at a track meet in Neenah to see her back on the course, and we're just really excited for her, and she doesn't like it when I talk about her, so sorry, Maddie, if this gets back to you, but we're really excited for you today, and we can't wait to see you back out there, and thanks to everyone who's helped get her to where she is, because it's been a long journey and a frustrating one at times. All right, that's it for us today. We will be back on Monday. Thanks to Mel Kiper for all of his insights. Can't wait to call him again soon.
And don't forget, 4:30 Central Time tomorrow, National Championship.
What time is that in Hawaii?
When would that be in Hawaii? 12:30 Hawaiian? 11:30? Oh, boy. Don't listen to me if you're in Hawaii.
Add that to the graphic. That's it for us today. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
People hear Horicon Bank and they think local instantaneously.
Over the years, was able to help them in their later years when they needed some care. So I would say that was cradle to grave experience for me.
We encounter precious moments like this all the time. We have a trust administration department that can help.
Our motto is together as a bank and as an organization, and then doing good.
There's amazing success stories of small business entrepreneurs who now are multi-million-dollar companies.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble